fight them.
Welcome to Natural 6. Sorry, it's your time you're wasting. If we're going to just shoot the shit early doors, then I don't know what kind of precedent that sets. Wilson, would you like to weigh in?
I was listening.
No.
I was looking directly at you the whole time.
Oh, you've misread my approach. I was trying to become an ally.
I was on the attack.
You rolled very low on persuasion.
I rolled incredibly, and your insight was wretched. Welcome to episode 23 of our adventures in the world of Reliquiae. Of course, David Beckham's number when he went to Real Madrid. Okay, all right. Look, some people have got diverse interests. It's a very specific Venn. It's a very specific Venn diagram I sit in the centre of. I used to, a long time ago, listen to old episodes of Desert Island Discs with people like Lauren Bacall and play FIFA. And I lived with a man who said, "I think you might be the only person in the world who's ever done this." I'm idiosyncratic. I'm wonderful. Let's say hi to our heroes.
Hello, I'm Aoife Wilson, and I'll be playing Dolly de Winter, the Tiefling Bard.
Hello, I'm Alex Jordan, and I'm playing I, the Kobold Rogue.
Hello, I'm Doug Cockle. I'm playing Kelmis, the Dragonborn Druid.
Hi, I'm Hollie, and I'm playing the human fighter, Elowen Grenweird.
Why were you checking notes? Why did you need to rustle paper and check notes?
Why can't I have any moment? Why is it always got to be about you?
I have gum in my mouth. And
So you were going to spit that out while I was doing my bit to camera?
I have gum. And I also have a holy mouth. Because I have a tooth out.
Drink from your cavity.
It's quite soft as well, your mouth.
Yeah, I've got a little gum.
This
I've
is
got a little
so chaotic.
Gummy soft.
And I've realised there are certain words that I can't say. And I was like, well, I'm going to do my intro. But I went, what if I don't get it right? So I was like, shall I take this out or shall I not? And then I was like, well, I'll take my...
You ran out of time.
This entire time you've been talking.
Hi, I'm Ben Starr. And I play Radiant Thornbear, the Wood Elf Wizard.
And welcome to Star Tours.
And I'm Harry McEntire. Forget this gold, platinum, argon, lithium. I'm hydrogen, baby. I'm 90% of everything. Shall we play some Dungeons and Dragons?
That was
Yes! Obviously, yes! Last time, you began in the Sanctum Tower, Dragonborn Seat of Power. I didn't realise I'd started with a rhyme.
Is this a sequel to Rock Justice?
Leaping into battle with soldiers of the Fortis Legion who had been waiting for your arrival. The rhymes are finished.
Mike is shaking. He's trying to keep it on track.
Okay.
White knuckles.
As the first of your enemies fell, battle taking its toll, Radium raised them from the dead as a zombie under his control. I had no idea. No, I did. I made that one. The zombie, now named Brian, did little to turn the tide of battle. But at least Radian made a friend.
Aww.
As the battle continued, the newly dead began to take control. Kelnis synergizing beautifully with his wildfire spirit, Hank fighting his way through the ancestral home of his people. Which sounds less heroic than I intended. Actually, it sounds like you've returned to your own birthplace and you've killed everyone inside. Dolly cut through multiple enemies with spells and psychic blades before one of your few remaining foes fled, rushing up a set of stairs to find Segavax, gallant of the Legion. As Radian slew the final blinded combatant, Dolly took on the fallen Dragonborn's visage and told the others to play dead, waiting until Segavax descended the stairs with more Legion warriors in tow. There he met with Dolly, disguised as an honoured Golden, and Kelnis, who had used his pendant to take on the appearance of Yilda. Segavax questioned disguised Dolly, who could not understand Draconic, so Kilda took the lead, trying to convince the huge, winged Dragonborn before him that the warrior who had summoned him was a liar. Segavax saw through this deception, grabbing Yelnis by the throat. Realising that time was running out,
Did you just get it?
Dolly created the sound of unfamiliar voices on a lower level in order to deflect Segovax's attention, and he instructed the warriors under his command to descend the stairs and investigate. As Kilda still tried to make his case, Segovax attacked, rolling a nat 20 to smite Yelnis, before Radian called on the deck of many friends to prevent what would surely be a devastating blow. Emerging from the card was Sabanzu Ma, a blue-grey-skinned, tattooed humanoid, though Erastus Gracie still demanded satisfaction, and Radian allowed both spirits to emerge, Sabanzu besting Erastus and trapping the pale human once again in the deck. This done, and the power of Segovax's attack lessened, Sabanzu convinced the remaining Fortis Legion soldier to take his hand. As he did, both the soldier and Sabanzu disappeared. Would you like to say it this time, Alex?
The character, not the me.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
Howie, what?
You
I
shan't
didn't know how he was going to start doing
You
this.
shan't have a second chance, baby.
I thought Harry was just about to go, would you like to take over time?
And I'll pass over, as planned, to Alex Jordan, who will DM the rest of this campaign. The character, not the me, used this opportunity to sneak past Segovax and up the stairs to an empty throne room where he remained, staying out of sight and sniping with his crossbow. And now, with only Segovax for company, you got down to business. Rounding on the gallant and beginning to overpower him, despite him setting more than one of you on fire and slaying brave Brian, Radian's best friend in the whole world. Radian repaid this death by mind-spiking Segovax's brains out of his face. Having learned through her Mantle of Whispers ability that Parvus was imprisoned at the top of the tower, Dolly led you upwards, entering the empty throne room as a storm raged outside. Elowen and Kelnis, still looking like Ylda, heard voices from above. Carvilius and another. You went out onto a balcony and climbed up to the top of the tower where you found Carvilius berating and beating Parvus, shackled and exhausted. Seeing through Kelnis's disguise, Carvilius raged at the Dragonborn for betraying his illustrious bloodline. When he replied that he did not know his bloodline, Carvilius brought forth spectral versions of his parents, though Elowen spotted that these figures flickered in time with a black gem that was set into Carvilius's belt. Carvilius then transformed into a dragon and cast Dominate Person on Kelnis as battle began. Kelnis failed the save, and Radian once more called on the deck. This time it was a huge, one-eyed female humanoid, Rebulast Markov, who emerged and allowed Kel to pass his saving throw, though before she disappeared, Radian asked Rebulast where she came from. She replied that she was from the Shadowfell, before taking in her surroundings, seemingly amused to be in Reliquiae. With that, she vanished, and the battle began again. Elowen telling you all to target the gem on Carvilius's dragon-sized chest as I attempted to free Parvus from his chains. As Kelnis's parents went to attack their son, he appealed to their better nature, and with a nat 20 was able to turn them from their path of violence. Atop the Sanctum, in the midst of a storm, they had found one another. With the help of his mother and father, Kelnis destroyed the gem, and Carvilius returned to her true form, waking as if from a deep sleep. She was full of remorse for what she had done, telling you that Barabask had corrupted her, having attempted to bend the remaining Antiqua to his will. As recompense, and with the last of her fading strength, she showed Kelnis a vision, in which his parents fled through Lathi cradling an egg. His father fell, and his mother gave the egg to Lathmel the Tree Speaker, the elf who raised Kelnis as his own. Her task complete, his mother waited in a clearing, as a figure emerged from the forest. A skeletal figure, wrapped in lengths of tattered cloth. And that's where we are now. The mists have faded. Those spectral versions of your parents, Kelnis, disappeared. And as the thunder still rumbles and the lightning flashes here high, high above the black lake of Fathom, you are rain-soaked, the five of you, chained Parvus and the body of Carvilius.
I think I'm just going to turn around and go up to Kelnis, and you can't really tell if Elowen's been, I guess, crying or if it's the rain, and she's just going to put two hands on Kelnis's face, give him a little smile, and then I'm going to walk to the edge of where we crawled up, and I'm going to just, I guess, take a defensive position with that pike. We've killed the gallant of the Fortis Legion. The Antiqua of the Dragonborn is dead on the floor. If we're found up here, we're in big trouble, and I don't think that letter's going to help us this time.
Okay, well, let's...
I do what you need to do with Parvus, but we need to get out of here.
I heads over to Parvus and draws in all of the water around into... I can shape it within a 5 foot, so it's going to go into each of the... This time, I kind of thought maybe in battle I couldn't do all in one go. But in this moment, into each lock, just freezes and just snaps the locks.
Yeah.
And releases.
And those locks burst open, and as they do, roll me an investigation check,
10. Oh wait, no, investigation. Sorry, not
13, 14 maybe.
12.
12. With a 12, what you can discern is that this it's a collar more than it is a necklace. It's a single piece of metal. It seems to have no join. It seems to have no hinge that you can open. The collar remains, but the 4 rings on it through which the locks had been attached, they are now empty of locks. So Parvus can move, but it looks to be something strange about this collar that means you can't find a way of removing it.
I imagine we're moving pretty quickly right now, but Radian runs over to Carvelius's body and investigates for basically anything on her body.
Roll me an investigation check.
I'll help him.
Okay, with advantage.
Oh, it's really raining.
It's really raining. It's 12.
It's a while since you saw Carvelius, but I would suggest that the circumstances under which you met her that first time were memorable enough that the person she was and her appearance has stayed with you, as it would with all of you in terms of the Antiqua. These, maybe not for Radiant, but these kind of hallowed, fated, seemingly sort of ageless figures who for so long have led the world in the path that the virtuous have set. And with a 12, you see that she's faded from when you last saw her. You can see, when you look at the gold of Kel, and you look at the gold of Segovax, and even the gold of members of the Legion, some of those that you fought, there is a kind of luster and also Kelnis is older than anyone that you've fought. Kelnis is older than Segovax. Segovax would be still a relatively young Dragonborn. But there is an age even in the way her scales are formed. You can see cracks and patches of dryness and lesions and old scars that you don't remember seeing at the top of Atria. And the clothes are faded in a way that you don't remember seeing at the top of Atria. And the only really noteworthy thing is that now the belt that fastened around her middle has an empty setting where once there was a black gem.
How does Parvus look? Can I go over and have a look at him?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you...
Is he marked at all by how all the other Antiqua have looked?
Roll investigation.
That's no good. That's it's a 4.
Okay. Parvus looks very tired.
Is the rain still coming down?
Yes.
I want to shape water in a kind of... I want to draw all the water away from Parvus, and shape around so all the water is being diverted in a kind of bubble around Parvus, keeping Parvus dry. And I kind of pick him up sort of by the head, kind of cradling, and I'm going to point a finger in the air, and I'm going to fire off a firebolt directly up into the sky.
As you lift his head, you feel that Parvus is definitely breathing. Parvus is not dead. Roll me a medicine check.
That is a 15.
Parvus doesn't seem to you in immediate danger of death.
Okay.
Parvus seems exhausted, but not it kind of mechanically at death saves.
I'm going to turn to Kel and say, I know you needs time. Big scale, but I need you now.
Cal has been standing looking at the two places where the visions of his parents were, but he hears I.
I looks down at Parvis, back up at Kelnis.
What do you need, little brother?
I cannot carry a Parvis.
I will carry him.
Guys, we've got to pick it up. Someone's going to be coming sooner or later.
And I go and I pick up.
As Kelnis
Parvis.
walks into that radius, all the water kind of stays.
Yeah,
and
so
he
you
enters
created
the
a kind of
space
dome,
dry.
yeah.
And I bend down and I place my hands under Parvis. And I lift him up and I cradle him, almost like a baby.
And he opens his eyes. And he says,
You is very gold, Big Scale.
You looks very tired.
Yes. We cannot go down through them all.
Do you have a suggestion?
Parvis reaches a claw out to you, and sort of not in a way that feels like that kobold greeting, but in a different way. Gestures for you to come into him and take his hand.
How many of you are there?
I look to Dolly because I can't.
5.
6. You can't leave her up here. She was one of the Antiqua. It wasn't her fault. You can't just leave her up here. This is nowhere to be found.
We don't know where we're going to even take her.
She deserves to be rested.
Guys, Aska can steer a boat, but even she's gonna struggle in this storm. We gotta move.
She's at the Sanctum. I don't think morality and the dead are something you should be talking about right now.
What does you suggest? A Parvis? I have power for one more thing.
And he looks over towards the edge that just drops down towards the lake. He says,
Trust us.
he reaches his hands out to kind of gather all of you in. And he looks up at you, Kel, and he says,
Can you find your own way down?
Possibly, yes.
and he casts Featherfall on the 4 of you and on himself. And what Featherfall does is it means that you just drop at a slower rate and you take no damage from a fall. And as you feel yourself suffused with these, you watch these sort of tendrils of radiant energy, and it's almost as if the gravity acting upon you lessens ever so slightly. And you feel yourself not weightless, but as if you can kind of float more lightly on the air in a way that feels like you can control it.
Hope you got over your fear of heights, Radian.
And with that, he just slumps back into exhaustion.
As we go to step towards the edge, I takes hold of one end of one of the chains as he walks over, shapes water to break the lock on the other end.
This will take a check because those are like, if you like, the permanently secured place of those chains, whereas clipping them onto something is a more temporary measure. These, I think I did say previously that they were
14
locked. 14 is
was
that
what was when it was around there. I think
was when it's around
yeah.
the neck. It'll be higher. It'll be an 18 to break one of these.
Arcana.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a dirty 20 and 18 on the
Great,
die.
absolutely.
So I snaps the lock, whatever's binding it, the lock up there, and opens the bag of holding and sort of drops one end into it and lets it just you see it's to the point where when it starts to, we see a chain rattle down and something that almost lifts over the lip, and it just disappears into the bag, and he ties it.
Yep. So you have one of the
Places it
chains.
back.
You're at the edge now, right? Roll me a perception check, Guy.
14.
14. You look down to the base of the tower, hundreds of feet below, and you are pretty sure you see a ship coming closer to where you are.
Eye turns, and he just, as a kind of signal, not for Asta but for the others, he just does a tiny little fireball like this, and just looks to Kel, nods, takes a step back, and just
Steps back off the edge.
I think I'd actually enjoy this. Like, Kylo would love this. And I'll just take a step.
Anyone else?
You okay?
I will see you at Ascus.
Oh, no, we're not doing this, are we? Radiant just closes his eyes and goes, tell me when I'm close to the edge. Okay.
I'm going to take his hand and I'm going to jump off the edge.
Okay, two of you jump off. Kel, you're still holding Parvis. What is it that you're doing?
I'm holding Parvis.
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you... I cannot just throw you off the tower.
Well.
And
Parvis did not realize that.
looks like you and I will have to be creative.
60 foot of rope.
Yeah.
I took the chain.
I
And
have an idea.
yeah, go ahead.
I thought you were throwing me to the wolves a little bit. But actually,
No, I forgot you'd already used
yeah,
your...
you can only use the
Yeah, you
wings,
can use the
once
wings
per
once.
short rest, once per long rest, something like that.
When was the last time you used the cream?
There's no more cream.
No,
He hasn't- he's never used the cream. Did you use the cream at any point?
We've used all the creams
Yeah,
up.
I used
Yeah,
the
but did
cream.
he use it before or after you
When
flew
did
in the
you use
cabin?
I used it after we got off the boat because I got creamed by the two creatures that we fought in the lake.
So you used it
Before,
Before you flew.
Before you flew.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my
Yeah,
thinking.
so
that was
I'm
all.
actually a bit low on hit points, and I'm low on
Okay.
spell slots as well.
Do we-
But
This is fun.
But
This is fun.
No, he's got something. Let him cook.
yeah,
Okay.
but I have the amulet.
Great.
So I reach, I kneel down and I set Parvis down on the stones of the tower. And I say to him, "This is very risky, but I think you are worth it." And I reach up and I touch my amulet, and I think very, very hard about Segavax.
Great. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
We're all at the bottom like, God, they're taking their time, aren't they?
You just see another firebolt just
16.
The DC to pass this is a 20. You take on the appearance of a Segavax adjacent Dragonborn. You're a golden Dragonborn. Your wings are much smaller than Segavax, and you are not clad in the correct gear. You look like a golden Dragonborn with small wings.
How tall is the tower?
I need to do some maths for that.
Tower
Tower is 240 feet.
Never mind. I was going to message. Can't.
You're falling at 60 feet per round. That's one round, so you're 60 feet away.
Wouldn't have realized. I don't have realized.
No, we're just jumping down. I got my eyes closed.
Yep.
Yeah, we thought we were good.
Okay, so I think I look at myself and I kind of realize this hasn't gone quite the way I intended. I stand, I pick up Parvis again, and I walk over to the edge of the tower where everyone else has fallen off very lightly, and I look down. I'm looking for the boat.
Yep, you roll me a perception check.
Just gonna throw him into the boat.
21.
You see the boat, and you see these little. You see a sort of pinprick that is I, another that is Elowen, and then you see a larger shape of Dolly and Radiant together, floating down towards the boat. You recognize it as Asker's vessel.
Okay. And I say to Parvis, my first idea was a better idea. This one is riskier, but it may work. And I call Hank to me. And I say to Hank, see that boat? That's where we're going.
Cool.
And I'm going to ask Hank to teleport me and Parvis and Hank 15 feet, and then let us fall for 10 feet and teleport again for 15 feet all the way down until we reach that boat.
So you're going down in increments of 25 feet, 15 and then... Okay, so that is... I said it was 240 down to the bottom, so that is 4 per 100. That's 8. We'll call it 9. Okay.
9 teleports? I mean, I can...
9 teleports.
I can increase the distance of free fall.
The
between
less time you
teleports.
free fall, the easier it will be to teleport. The more time you... What I'm going to say is this. Parvis has Featherfall cast on them.
Parvis does.
Parvis
is very light.
Thought you had
Oh, I
your
see.
wings.
Okay, so I could
Parvis
just drop
had 5
Parvis.
castings, and because assumed you had wings, because you're a dragonborn,
Yeah.
didn't cast it on you because he assumed you would have another way down.
So Parvis has Featherfall.
So Parvis has Featherfall. So you don't need to hold Parvis. You can just chuck Parvis off. And Parvis will float down.
Okay, then I say to Parvis, I'll see you at the bottom. And I hold him out over,
Yeah.
and I let him fall.
And he...
By this point, I has reached the bottom and is looking up and just sees this body and then just lets go, and for a moment goes, ha!
Okay.
But my plan is still the same.
Yep. Okay, so I love this idea so much. What I'm saying is, the longer you allow yourself to free fall, I'm going to say the faster you'll be going, and the harder it will be to control your teleports. So I will say, if you want to do these 9 jumps, the DC will be low for the 9. If you want to try and free fall for longer, the DC will be higher, but you'll have to roll fewer times. Does that make sense?
Fewer rolls, shorter odds.
Yep. It's high stakes, low stakes.
More rolls, longer odds.
Well, it's either this, or I take my chances trying to move through.
What can you wild shape into right now? Can you?
Oh, that's a good. That's a very good point.
Can you?
Walking
Can
down.
you?
How many more?
Yes.
How many more uses of your? How many times can you summon your wildfire spirit? How many uses of?
I've used 1 wild shape. I've got 3.
Great, because you summoned Hank and you never got rid of him.
No.
Kelness walks down through the tower. Hey guys, it's me, Beggerbacks.
Oh, that's a very good point. Okay. Yeah, so I stand there looking over the abyss, and I look to Hank, and I consider all of this, and I say, This, my friend, may be suicide. And
Are you in?
And Hank will be like,
My heroes, what you
That's exactly how he sounds.
and deciding against the extremely high risk of death with the teleportation idea, I use a wild shape and I transform into a cat. The black cat with the little white nose. That I... What?
No, nothing.
What?
Katniss.
Katniss, yes.
Yeah, yeah, sure, hon. I mean, totally logical for what you were. Yeah. Any animal, right?
Can you fly?
Yeah, could you?
No fly
Level
speed
8.
until level
Level
8.
Ah.
You're level 6.
Still, the cat
You know
is
what,
wild.
Cal?
Spider, though.
Do the
Do your thing.
Do the teleportation.
Do you know how fast octopuses can swim?
Hold on, if you're an octopus, could you technically all the way down the side of the building?
Oh, a spider down the wall. God, you guys are good.
We're not. You can't hear this. You can't
Yeah,
hear
to be
this.
fair, we're just your inner monologue right now.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
What I love is that
Kelness is
anyone who happens to be on this top right now of this building has seen Kel go, okay, do something, look down and go, walk over and go, like this thing goes, and then just turn into a cat.
Throw someone off the edge and turn into a cat. He looks like he's having a full breakdown. To be fair, he's just met his parents, right? He's had a really
We're like, you're okay, right? And then just stepped off the edge of
They
the
just
building.
left him with an unconscious, like, a
Antique
demigod type thing, like the first of our creation. Like,
Okay. Yeah, a spider it is then.
Okay.
It has
Why
to
not
be.
a spider
that
cat?
makes sense. A spider cat.
Half spider, half
Spider
cat.
cat.
a spider with a white stripe down its
Yeah,
Spider cat
does.
Okay, yes, I transform into a spider.
So with as part of that, you have the trait Spider Climb, where you can climb 20 feet. So if you want to climb all the way down, you coward. By
Don't let the DM get to
taking the dash action, you can every now and then D&D throws up something truly mathematically incredible that you can climb down using the dash action, which would be 40 feet. You can do it. You can do this whole tower in 36 seconds, which is really fast for a spider.
Wow.
I don't want to see a spider do that. It would terrify me.
Yeah, they don't need. They've got that
No.
many legs.
I is about 2/3 of the way down when he just sees a spider go.
You're moving almost as fast as them. And you turn into a spider, and you climb
And I make
down
my
the
way down.
outside of the Sanctum Tower.
Yeah, I can use web to like go whee thunk, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, roll me a... No, I'm just...
I guess I'll very gently try and catch Parvis.
Yeah, I mean, roll me a athletics with advantage.
I do anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, yeah. So you, who's the first to land? I is the first to land, and then Elowen, and then Radian and Dolly.
Oh, that was fun.
That was amazing.
That was so much
My
fun.
brothers are going to be so jealous I've done this.
And then Elowen catches Parvis.
Oh, wait, what? Wait, what?
Record scratch. Yep, that's me.
Where's Kellness?
To find out how we got here, we've got to go back.
No, seriously, guys. Where's Kellness?
And I jump off the wall and land on Parvis's chest.
Oh my god, it's a spider! Oh my god, it's me!
But Hank's with me. He's like,
Oh, yeah, Hank's... Yeah, Hank can hover, I think.
He's just
Yeah.
flying his
Let him have it, hun. Let him
Hank can
have it.
hover.
After all that, let him
No,
have
Hank
it.
I just
Hank
held on
just-
to Hank.
Hank's dead,
Oh, no,
like,
no.
forever.
And then I turns around and goes, "What?" And then
Wait, what?
I jump off the wall onto Parvis.
Yes, that's I.
Who Elowen is holding, and then I transform back into Kelness.
Kellness. Yeah, Parvis's permadeath.
I think when Parvis asked if you had a plan, I didn't think it was this.
I'm still Spider.
You just said you...
I know I can't do that though.
Yeah, you can.
What,
You just
transform
drop
back?
it. You just drop it.
Yeah, but not. I was joking when I said I land on Parvis's
Well, maybe
chest
step off
and
him.
transform him.
That was the bit that was
So
all
you're a
kind of-
spider at the base of the tower, essentially, because
Yeah.
there's depths of water. The boat can't be right up against the tower. So you climbed onto the base of the tower to the rocks where Dolus first led you inside.
I looked up and was just going,
Kellness! A big scale!
Do we have to go get him?
I hope not. I
Big
don't-
scale!
really don't want to have to go back through that tower.
Can I hear him?
You can hear them, yeah.
So I'm stuck on a rocky.
So
ledge.
essentially,
You're down with us.
Rock Justice is in the centre of the lake, and obviously they're moored slightly off that, and
Yeah.
so there's a little stretch of water, maybe 40 feet from the shore, is where they are.
You have to say what justice.
Are they on the
Rock
boat?
Lobster.
Rock Justice! Yeah, they landed on the boat. They floated their way out to the boat.
How far? Yeah. Well, I can't. Don't know if I want to get in that water.
That was us floating towards the
Oh, sorry. No, of course they moored up on the beach, so they would be moored up on the beach.
Okay, but I have to traverse this kind of rocky,
Yeah.
whatever.
I was just doing shape water to move it, so he's just looking up, just keeping it at his eyes.
Can you see him?
Peering.
He's loving shape water today.
Yeah.
It gives me rain. I's going to play with it.
We literally worked with the
can
WAP
s-
to not go through the front door.
I can see it's nothing.
So am I still a spider or am I Kellness
You haven't
now?
told me you're not a spider. and
No, I haven't.
You climbed down, but I feel like this is becoming more of this is not an obstacle. Whether a spider or Kellness, you can move across rock.
Okay, well, I think I should transform back into Kellness.
Great. And Kellness appears, guys, at the base of the Sanctum Tower.
Big scale! Oh!
I just don't think this is what Parvis had in mind.
It is not.
All right, shall we? We're all
Yeah,
here?
come on, let's go find your best friend.
Oh, yeah. Maybe let me soften her up first.
She's on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
still got a hat
She hasn't
on.
parked. Like she, yeah. She's still got her hat on.
He's going to hit her.
No, my gosh. You could try. I don't get that far.
She might
We're
be
back.
brilliant.
Darlings. All well?
I guess you could call that a success.
It'll be better when we get out of here.
I steps up and just goes,
We killed a dragon.
Well,
Oh.
technically.
We killed the dragon. Let's get out of here.
And she weighs the anchor and starts to head out back into the Lake Fathom.
I would like to ensure that Parvis is on this boat. Is there any sort of kind of as much of below deck as
Yeah, there is. There's
possible?
absolutely. So what you have is you have the sort of the main deck of the
was like
vessel,
that, and it was-
which
yeah,
has
and then
which
up.
has a raised bit
Yeah.
at the back and a raised bit at the front. Technical terms, of course. And within those two underbits are sort of cabins and storage.
I would like to sort of the back end where sort of like you more kind of typically think of as like captain's quarters or whatever in a. Yeah, I'd like to kind of ensure that Parvis is tucked away.
And you find that it's not it's not 4-poster luxury, but there is a reasonably comfortable bed within there.
I mean, I kind of lays Parvis down and slides him
Slides
under
him
the
underneath
bed. and then I would like to take the blanket on the bed, pull it further towards the end,
Make a little fort.
and bring it down so
Yeah.
it drapes on the floor, so it creates a kind of space for Parvis just to be on their own.
Absolutely. And Parvis is like passed out or asleep or whatever, barely functioning. And back up on deck, you're with Asker.
Yeah, I'd probably taken Parvis there. Followed you, and I would have been like, just, are you going to stay with him?
I doesn't say anything. I just kind of curls up on the floor next to the draped.
Okay, I'll just sort of put my sort of hand on your head and be like, you just shout if you need us, we'll be on deck. And I'll go back out and join everybody.
Asker is staring at Radian. And she says, you're very handsome when you're angry.
I know. I'm sorry about earlier.
We're all afraid, darling. We're all afraid. And she looks to you, Donnie. She says, I can't go back.
What do you mean?
Well, you've caused quite a stir in there. That was clear even from the water. She said, and she gestures to this wide open lake. Do you see any other vessels?
That's a good point. I'm sorry.
It was nice while it lasted. Bit of a holiday by the lake. On to pastures new.
What can we do to help?
Nothing. I'll lay low for a while.
Well, drop us off wherever's convenient for you. I don't really think we have a plan from here.
I'll scuttle this baby. Try and make it look like a shipwreck. Might go down to Sarah and see if I can find the edge of the world.
I like that for you.
Right. I'll take you to the eastern shore. I've found a passage that I hope is less troubling, less fraught with danger than the one by which we arrived. Who would like to roll me a luck check?
I'll do it.
You can roll with advantage because she has tried to spot the way.
Go on, get the tower.
Yeah, I think we need to cleanse.
No.
I think we need to
needs to
cleanse
be
the
voted.
tower.
It's with advantage.
I think we need to cleanse
With
the
advantage,
tower.
let's
No,
get
because
it.
you said
Because the
that.
tower has a
Has
bad
skulls.
reputation.
Because it looks like
It needs
skulls.
saging.
I don't trust that
No,
this
I
is
don't like
not-
this thing.
Okay, I'll do one in the tower and then.
If it's going badly, you'll remove from the tower.
Okay, yeah. If it's not good, you can.
It's a luck check. You just need a 10 or higher.
This is,
I just
this
want
is going to
you-
be a nat 20.
For Ashraf.
I want it.
Nat 20.
For Brian.
For Brian. For Brian.
And that's in that one.
Nat 20.
Manifest.
Because he didn't use the tower.
It's not cocked.
That's McEntire's curse.
Oh my God.
Because we didn't use the tower.
Because we didn't use it. That's
Wow.
We
the
didn't
curse.
use it.
Wow.
Thank you. If you would use the tower, even the tower was like, don't do it. The tower didn't want to be used.
This lovely tower.
The universe is on our side.
The tower rejected the dice.
Absolutely.
For those of you listening, what happened was Ben was going to put the dice into the tower, but
Missed
it bounced
it
off the rim
completely.
and fell instead onto the table.
He missed an
Natural 20.
enormous dice tower, by the way. Like, it's not tiny.
Right in front of him.
the opening for the dice tower, like also all the sides going into it are sloped so that even if you miss it, will just still roll in.
Much like Brian, nothing
Useless.
worked the way I wanted it to.
I cannot wait to edit together all of the failed luck checks from that one episode and then that moment.
Nat 20.
Oh my God.
So, Asker raises the sails and guides you, takes you on a path across the black water. The rain's still lashing down, and even as squalls and sudden tumults of wind erupt and threaten to throw her off course with ease and finesse, swinging around the rigging, commanding one of you at different points to take the helm so that she can adjust sail, tie things off. She moves with a sort of grace and a panache, which is kind of how you remember her, Dolly. And she guides you safely to the eastern shore of Fathom. And there, she drops the anchor, lays out a long gangplank, and stands on the deck and says, well, I suspect this is where we part.
It might not be your thing, but if you are looking for a place to lay low, find my family in Mouse. I'll take you in. It's maybe a bit provincial for your tastes, but they'll keep you safe.
It's a long time since I've been in a forest.
It is pretty.
Hills?
Not many.
Says, well, darling, I'll consider it. Thank you. Well, if there anything as lovely as you.
Look, the cook's really good.
Oh, really?
And the wine cellar is fantastic.
There's pickles.
Well, sign me up, my honoured Golden. And she, I mean, you're still in there with Parvis.
I walks out and just turns to Calnis and says,
with I.
I goes in and sort of, you see I disappear under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
just sort of kind of sliding Parvis with as much care
Yeah.
and
Parvis,
reverence as possible.
Pushed with love.
even in the hours that have passed, the hour or so it's taken to navigate her way to the eastern edge of the lake, Parvis seems a little more with it.
Mm-hmm.
Still, probably wouldn't want him to walk under his own strength, but he opens his eyes as he's pushed out like a conveyor belt, and a generation going.
Literally makes eye contact.
Makes eye contact,
and I just goes,
Sorry.
it's all right.
I cannot lift you.
No, of course.
And I kneel down and I pick him up.
And he looks up at you and says, "You are full of resources, it seems."
And little sense today.
He says, "I saw it at the top of the tower. I saw what it meant. With a little rest, I hope to answer some questions you may all have."
I think we would all welcome that, Parvis. If you will trust me to carry you, I will carry you as far as I can.
And he puts a clawed hand on your chest. "I trust you.
I know he does, but what about you?
Yes.
I steps up and puts a hand and he goes,
A Parvis trusts you.
Is that the first time you've really referred to him by his name to him?
To him, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Roll me an insight check.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's a 5.
Yeah. There's a change in his expression. You can't tell if it's shame or a sense that he's been betrayed or a sense that he's softening. But he does say, "We trust."
Do I notice this little...
Roll me a perception check.
say, 17.
Yeah, you notice that Parvis actually, what the expression on Parvis's face is a softening rather than anything else when I uses his name.
I see this and I look to I look back at Parvis. This one has learned much in his travels with us.
Can I get a grasp of where we are? Because there's a couple of things when you say east.
Okay.
Before you do that, we haven't left the boat or anything yet.
No, you haven't left the boat yet. So, directly to the east of the Sanctum are the forests that once surrounded the city of Alvelia. And those forests come almost up to the border of the lake, and it's in that sort of wooded, slightly more hidden area, a little bit more discreet. That's where Asker has laid the gangplank, and that's where the ship is moored.
I has a thought. Stops and puts a hand on Calnis and says,
Should we not be alert for a Yilda?
We'd like to think she wouldn't know where we are right now, but I'm pretty sure Yilda's going to figure out that, well, the Fortis Legion didn't finish us off. That might have been the other way round.
Also, I'd love to hear how you remain alert for a shapeshifter.
I can look. I can tries.
We cannot trust anyone.
Present company accepted, darling.
Obviously.
Always ask her, sorry.
With that, Dolly's going to go up to Aska, give her a really big hug, and take both her hands and be like, thank you for everything. And I know that you'll keep finding adventures that are worthy of your fabulousness.
Well, comfort gets rather tired after a while, doesn't it? It's bracing, good for the soul to be absolutely terrified.
Yeah, you get used to it after a while.
It's been good to see you.
Me too.
And who knows, I might take your friend up on her offer. Get myself a tanner's workshop.
Sure you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might own a mill.
I'll swing by and visit you sometime.
Do.
I will remember your food.
And I will remember the way you eat.
If it helps, ask her, there's a brewery that needs fixing.
Ooh.
And that cream of yours, yeah, it's no wonder your scales look so good.
Darling, thank you. You're too kind, honestly.
You got any more of that?
No, sweetie, that was the was a one-time deal. Didn't really do what I wanted it to do, so I kept that for perhaps a rainy day. Fortunate I did, turns out.
Eye goes.
It is raining.
Yes, hence the cream being
Metaphor.
gone. A metaphor, yeah. But in a very real sense, the cream is also gone now. Synergy. And she sort of takes off her tricorn hat and holds it to her chest and inclines her head in a little bow. Go on, get out of here.
We'll see you again.
You will.
As Kel, carrying Parvis, turns to walk off, he turns to Hank, who's hovering nearby. He says, "Thank you, Hank. We'll see you again soon." And Hank fades out of existence.
Beautiful. So you head off the boat, and once you're clear, you see Aska pull up the gangplank, and it's a big ship to man by herself, but she's done it before. She hoists the sail, she raises the anchor, and she starts to head out kind of into the storm, looking for a place to shipwreck herself and find her way back to shore. And and before you is a forest. Behind you, the swelling lake, black foam, black water, and the white of the Sanctum Tower. And before you is a forest of deep murky green and Mount Atria in the distance.
Well, I would love to get out of the rain. Don't know about anyone else.
Eyes just dry.
Constantly dry. I don't know if you can have this many skateboards working all at once. We're busting locks, we're making domes.
Doesn't have hair. And I guess me and you might just run into the forest.
Yeah, I assume you're going to head off into the forest and
Yep.
find a place to rest.
Yeah.
Who would like to try and find that place?
I'm very keen to get Parvis somewhere rested, so I'm very active in the search for somewhere.
I'll help.
Roll a survival check with advantage.
16.
16, yeah. A little way into the forest, away from where you could be spotted on the shoreline, or where a little fire, if you lit one, would be visible to the town of Seascale. And as you're heading into the forest, you get a chance to look back over your shoulder, and you can see the lights of Seascale starting to... the candles and the lamps of the town, soft through the mist, this diffused orange light through the white. And you go deep enough into the forest that your own light wouldn't be seen. And you find a place where the canopy of the trees is particularly dense. And there are thick, tall, straight trunks, almost creating a, not perfect, but almost like a sort of slightly ungainly circle from which not much can, into which not much can enter. That's what you find with a 16.
I guide everyone in the direction of this.
I'll help get some, I don't know, make it a bit more homey, like get some fire going or...
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
that.
listen, you give me something like Shape Water, which is a creative and flair thing. I'm going to take some wood and I'm going to take out all the moisture in the rain out of it so that we don't have like a really smoky fire, basically. Because otherwise, I think in this moment, I was thinking, like the kobold way, they are aware of, sort of never leaving a clear sign of where you are.
Yep.
And so they're always taught and trained, do not light a wet fire and create loads of smoke.
Yep.
So I draw all the moisture out, do a little fireball.
Little fire bolt.
Sorry, bolt, sorry. I cast
It's
fireball in the middle.
8d6 to everyone in a 35.
A little fire.
He's like, don't worry, there will be no smoke.
And someone's just put like petrol on like the barbecue, like the whole thing's gone up.
A little firebolt on the wood that Dolly has gathered.
Yeah. And you have a fire going. You have a fire going, and you start to have the opportunity to warm yourselves. And Parvus sits with his back against the trunk of one of these trees, starting to warm himself, starting to return a little. He reaches up to the collar around his neck, tries to adjust it.
Can I have a little look at it? Like, can I go over and just be like, if you don't mind,
No, of course.
if there's anything I can ascertain or try and move it or anything?
Roll me, you can roll me an investigation or you can roll me an arcana.
Let's have a look. Which would be better? Same thing. No good. 5.
5.
Is Parvis in need of healing? Or is-
Parvus would mechanically not be at
wounded,
full
or-
HP. Parvus is wounded in the sense that someone is wounded when they leave a long and cruel incarceration. But Parvus isn't wounded in the sense that he is currently bleeding, or if that makes sense. So, so mechanically, a long rest would replenish his vitality. You know.
Yeah, that was a 5.
Yeah, I mean, again, you see what I saw. You see that this is a sort of single continuous. Are you examining it with your hands, or are you just looking at it?
I think with my hands, I asked,
Okay,
asked permission first, but...
Be gentles.
I'm always gentle.
You take 3 points of necrotic damage as you try to.
Okay, that's interesting.
What was that?
A radiant.
I didn't do anything.
No.
Not this time.
Can you understand this?
Sure, I'll go and investigate it myself. Can I do an arcana check on it, or because you've already done it?
Do you want to touch it, or do you just want to look at it?
I'm not going to touch it because I've just seen
Okay.
someone else touch it. But if I was to use Mage Hand, would that make any difference? That's just to pick things up.
Mage Hand would allow. You can try and use Mage Hand.
Yeah. So I from a distance, try and examine it with my little mate. I'm not touching it.
But your Mage Hand is.
But my Mage Hand.
And as your Mage Hand touches it, it disappears instantly.
You remember
and
the blight on the mountain?
I really remember the blight on the mountain.
Felt a little similar to that.
And Parvus says, Parvus says, you cannot. It will not budge. I have tried.
If you remember, it was Jasmine that cured us last time, and she was pretty powerful.
The Carvilius put that on you.
And he nods.
Then we need an Antiqua to take it off you.
Or a god.
Do you know where we could find a god?
We're running a little low on those these days.
Where? Where might we find themselves?
I looks to the rest of the group and says,
Can we? Speaks.
You know what? I'm going to go see if I can find us any food. How about that? And I'm actually going to walk away from this. I think this is not my moment, so I'm going to go foraging, I suppose.
Yep. What about the rest of you?
I'm going with Elowen.
Okay. And seeing that the two of you have gone, seeing in particular that Kelnis has gone, Parvis slips into Draconic. Kobold Draconic. Not the high Draconic of the Dragonborn. Themself is in the old dark.
And how do we get there?
I have a way. Alvelion. I will lead you there.
All of us?
All of us.
You know they can be... You know they can be trusted.
We are not alone.
Now?
Ever. All our lives, we are told by tribe that there is nothing greater than us, but that us is too small. That us is insufficient in the vastness of everything. These that you have met, these friends that you have made, they are your tribe as much as me. It is for this that themself and I have fought. It is on these terms that themself and I has strayed from one another. And the further I went from themself, the further I went towards everything else. But everything else is not the evil.
When was the last time that you were with the kobolds?
There's a moment where his eyes mist. With my tribe. Not truly since the beginning of the world.
How often do you think of them?
Always.
Do you know where your tribe is?
They will be where they are. Where they all are. Mine, yours.
I don't know where mine is.
I will take you.
You know where they are?
I know where they all are. It is the only place that they would go.
How many of us are there?
Many hundreds. Thousands even. Beneath the earth now. Safe but far away.
And mine are there, too.
I am amazed you are not there with them.
I should be there.
You should be.
Why did they go without me?
That I cannot say. I do not know.
And they are with themselves
They must be.
this whole time.
Themself will have taken all to the old dark.
But why not I?
That I cannot say. I do not know.
I was alone. And I was scared.
I understand. It is hard to be alone. And he reaches forward and sort of puts his hand on your shoulder. And he says, were you truly alone?
For a while, I think I was.
Close your eyes. And you do. And he says, listen. Roll me a perception check with advantage.
6.
A 6. And all you can hear is the storm and the wind in the trees. Parvus says, what do you hear?
Everything. Nothing.
And the hand on your shoulder gives you a squeeze, almost digs his claws into you, says, no, you are listening for yourself. Listen for everything else. Roll me a perception check with advantage.
12.
You can hear a few sounds. You can hear the voices of Elowen and Calnis as they search for food. You can hear the breathing of Dolly and Radian. You can hear the breathing of Parvus, ragged and heavy.
I hear his tribe.
That is my point. You are not alone now. And in time you will discover you were not alone then. But you still have much to learn. Things that you must open yourself up to. We miss more than we see. We miss even more underground, in caves away from frightened of the world. The world is happening.
I would like to try and listen again, but I want to drop the shape water that I have been kind of using to keep myself dry and allow the rain to just hit me. And I would like to just try and in that moment stop keeping something out and just let it all.
Okay, once more.
It's an 8. I let the rain hit me and I clench my fists.
I doesn't. I die.
And he slips back into Draconic.
I do not fully understand.
And you feel Parvus's claw move from your shoulder onto your clenched fist. And you open your eyes and Parvus is looking at you and he says, patience. It all takes time.
I just don't understand why I would be left.
We'll cut over now to Elowen and Kel.
I found a mushroom.
Yeah, but do you know what type it is yet? Kel?
It's dark. I can't see.
Actually, you can see.
Since 2024, I can. Roll a nature check, Kel.
9.
9.
I told you can't see.
These are unfamiliar mushrooms to you. This is odd, and this is noteworthy.
Don't eat that, please. It's like being out with
Maybe I
Radiant.
should lick it.
No, don't
Like the
do what he
fish.
does. No, that wasn't good for him either.
It's the only way I found out what worked and what didn't.
Can I have a look at this mushroom?
Yeah, roll me nature with disadvantage.
That's only an 8 for me.
Yeah. It seems like it could be
She rolled an 18 first.
Disadvantage.
disadvantage.
She take the lowest.
Yeah.
Damn, these rules, man.
Yes, the emotional
Doug, advantage and disadvantage.
For everybody watching this, episode 22 was filmed yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? So less than
in which
24
Doug
hours
was
ago.
splitting his movement, teleporting, using bonus action.
So far, we almost tried to climb down the tower as a cat. After not communicating we didn't have any wings.
Me and me yang, right?
We yank
I think
hard.
it's just because he's always a glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's always like, that's an 18 then, that's good.
What have you been doing when I've asked you to roll with disadvantage? Oh, amazing.
no,
Whether
you're
advantage
fine.
or disadvantage, you're taking the
We
highest
always
roll.
check his rolls. We
Yeah.
always like,
Everyone's like, what's that?
You know what? Maybe we shouldn't take mushrooms if we don't know what they are.
But merch.
You shouldn't take mushrooms before a session.
Elwyn with an 8. This mushroom doesn't seem to be related to anything you recognise, but it does have like a slight, like a film on it, like a dark black film.
We're near Revellion, aren't we?
You are.
Yeah.
Possibly, yes.
You would definitely know where Alvelion is, Kel. You are 100% are near Alvelion. These are the forests that border it.
I think we are, yes.
Would I be out of my way to suggest that maybe something like what was coming down the mountain, the kind of a blight, might be spreading? I don't know. That seems like I'm putting 2 and 2 together. It's a bit weird. I'm musing out loud, I suppose.
Are you thinking?
I mean, it shouldn't feel like this. Can I look for like maybe any other sort of, not necessarily mushrooms, but anything else that might have that same?
You can roll me perception or nature.
Okay. That's a 10.
A 10. Yeah, you see other, not everything here, but like some of the foliage seems to have this slight black residue on it. It could be spray carried from Fathom. It could be something else.
I'm actually just gonna, I guess I'm gonna take my dagger and cut a few different things. I think there are people that might know more about this than me. So we absolutely shouldn't eat them.
Okay.
Okay. I'm actually gonna take like a little bundle of mushrooms, leaves, and just things that I feel like have that film on them, and I'm actually gonna take them back to camp.
Okay. Dolly and Radian, while this conversation has been happening, 99% of which was in Draconic between Parvis and I, what have you been doing?
I think I've been sort of like pottering around a little bit, but been paying attention to the fact that a conversation has been happening. And sort of just kind of like wondering out loud, but sort of in Radiant's direction, like, what do you think they're talking about?
I don't know, but it seems pretty somber.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gotta be weird, right? Part of a tribe, not part of a tribe.
Yeah, and he's pretty obsessed with it.
Yeah, but must be kind of nice, right? Being a part of something that's you, but bigger.
I've never really felt a part of anything.
Yeah, that's 2 of us.
Until now.
Yeah. It's a good way to look at it. You do feel part of something now? Seem to flip-flop a lot.
I do. Some days I feel incredibly confident and happy. I know who I am, I know where I'm going. And then other days, completely different, I can't explain it.
I think that's just being a person.
Yeah.
Part and parcel of the whole being alive thing.
It's quite nice being alive.
I'm glad you finally think so.
I really like Brian.
Didn't really do much, but, you know, you made a friend. You made a friend. Progress.
You know what, when you put it like that, I did.
You really did.
I feel bad.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
Yeah. I'll learn for next time.
Gonna do it again?
Oh, yeah. I miss Brian.
Gonna bring him back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't think Elwyn liked it much.
She doesn't like magic. And that's It's the darkest magic you can get.
Cool.
I know.
What do you think about, and then pull out the deck of many friends. What do you think about this?
Every time we use that, it scares me even more.
But it's helped us.
Yeah, but it's always a hair's breadth away from killing us, too. Did you see that he disappeared, that dragonborn, like it was nothing?
Yeah. And that could have been us.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Everything happens for a reason.
I like to believe that. But I don't want to just up and disappear. Don't want any of us to do that. I feel like that deck, those cards, they respond to you. They're yours for a reason, and I like to think that that's got to count for something, but we gotta be careful.
They're certainly not from this plane.
No. The Shadowfell?
That's what she said. And I want to believe her because she was massive.
Really cool.
Yeah.
But you know what that implies, right?
I do. There's nothing right now. We've got more pressing things to discuss, but it's good to keep tabs on it. I think it's going to keep happening. And I think that thing that tried to kill me is going to keep coming back.
He wants what he's due.
I just hope that you're here to help me when he comes back for me.
Always. All right. You think they've found any food yet?
Hey, Radiant, come here and see if you need to lick this.
Coming.
It's like a mushroom. It feels weird. Is it the same as what was on that bit?
All right. You want me to lick it?
Yeah, you know what, actually, this time, yeah.
Okay.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god.
11.
Raging, you are blighted.
Oh.
What an insane thing to do. Raging, you are blighted. You have plus you add a D4 necrotic damage to melee attacks, and you're resistant to necrotic damage.
Okay, so we're not eating the mushrooms.
Harvest!
I looks over. And do I think that Parvis would be able to stand with some assistance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
So I want to take a claw under sort of armpit and kind of hold onto the arm and assist Parvis up.
Our friend's a fucking idiot. Can you please help?
And then I turn to Parvis and I say,
A good fucking idiot.
Wait. Did you just say I'm resistant to necrotic damage?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the blight did.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
great.
had it, yeah.
Touch it, go on.
Well, the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I touch it.
Roll me. Okay. You take 5 points of necrotic damage after.
I look at him and says,
Resistant, not invulnerable.
Yeah.
I learned this with the fire.
I don't know why I'm trusting you. Why am I getting... Ow,
He's
God.
an Antiqua.
I
Like,
turn to Parvis in Kobold and say,
Is there anything you can do to help him? He is slow and clearly an idiot.
Parvis kind of goes to smile, and then his face is overtaken by sadness, and he says, "My magic." And he points at the collar. The last of it got you down.
How How do we get this collar off? Who may be able to help us get this collar off? Himself?
Would you like to meet your god?
But what if they don't want me there?
Perhaps there's a chance you will have to take. For a long time they did not want me. But with or without you, I will return to them. Draconic.
I have things I would like to ask them.
For all their faults, they give answers freely. Oh, you know what the hell's going on here.
You may not have another chance to do such a thing. My god is dead. Yours is not.
Both of you roll investigation checks on Parvus, really taking him in.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
18.
18. Both of you realise Parvus is not fading. Not like Ronoth did.
Mm-hmm.
Parvus's god is not dead.
Okay.
And Parvus has the potential to reclaim some of, if not all of his power with Nat 20.
If themselves.
Your tongue's been half out your mouth for such a long time.
So I just cast Mage Hand while he's talking. It just goes up and just pushes it back in. And
when it leaves.
Okay.
I just
so there's the hand.
lead
So
him
it
away
goes.
and sort of sit him down.
So Mage Hand just goes back, pushes it back in, and just stays kind of there.
You can carry up to £30. I'm going to say you don't have a £30 chin.
I
Or
can't believe
£10.
you're blighted and allergic to that mushroom.
This is not, I want to make it clear, canonically, this has nothing to do with the blight. This is deep, deep unfortunate.
I really think he's allergic.
This is why you don't pick stuff in the forest.
His hands are swelling.
Oh, God.
I don't understand why I was left, and if I was left, why would themselves let...
And he gestures to everyone, but specifically Radiant.
Why would he let my tribe join?
We do not have to join anything.
I want you there.
Says it for everyone to hear in common.
What's this? Where? What?
Parvus responds in common. He says, "The kobolds cannot hide beneath the earth forever.
How does you feel about... How does you feel about meeting a god?
Well, as long as it goes better than the last time we tried, I think it's probably a good idea considering that the blight... Yeah, I think we need to.
Can they help us?
I don't know if anyone can help him, but if there is anyone who can...
Do you want to try? You don't have to.
Do you want to go?
I want nothing more.
Well, then we go. How far?
I cast Healing Word on Radiant.
For those
It's not going to do shit.
who are listening,
Ben has resolutely kept his tongue out of his mouth for maybe 5 or 6 minutes of real important backstory. He's got his hands up in the air. I don't know what they're for, and he's chosen to jut his lower jaw forward and screw his eyes tightly shut.
My eyes are puffy now.
Yeah, like an anaphylactic.
Yeah, it's my whole body has gone into this. So Please.
Is there anything?
He looks like a gummy bear.
Sorry.
Hell, is there anything in the forest that can counteract whatever the hell is happening? Can we
The
do
scars
that?
are widening.
Like I've gone up. You know. What's the Bear Grylls thing where he ends up looking like Benedict Cumberbatch because he's stung by a bee?
yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Also, I encourage everyone to Google image search dogs who've eaten wasps.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's that.
You're
It's
just a
that.
cute little puppy with a big swollen face.
Kel, roll me a nature check with advantage.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll help otherwise.
Nature. That's a 21.
There are certain herbs and leaves in the forest that can counteract the effects of having black.
Yes, there are.
With all due respect, that blight is spreading. I don't think we should be picking anything off the forest floor right now.
Yeah, but we can rinse. We can at least rinse them or something. We need to.
Can you? What's the healing thing? Why don't you just heal him?
That's not how this works. Let's just. Right, I'm gonna run. Cal, come, let's go.
Okay.
I'm just
Radiant, come on, let's go.
Oh my God.
We're gonna go and leave these two.
So Dolly and Kel and Radian head off into the forest to look for something to cure the infection. And Ella, when are you staying here with
Yeah. I think I've done my job, really.
Yeah, I think you probably have. Yeah. And Parvis looks at you. He says, "The world is changed." He stays in common for your benefit, Elowen. "I have seen firsthand the flood, the darkness, all that could befall the world.
The shadow will flood.
Yes.
We met someone at the top of that tower. They spoke of the shadow fell.
One of the other 3 realms.
Who is they?
They were and are our enemies. Above all. And now, they give their power to Barabask.
Theolon.
Theolon. What of Theolon?
No?
I'm not there.
I'm looking just like, who is giving Barabask their power?
The Vial.
This hero of the Shadowfell, they are of the Vial? Or they are against the Vial in the Shadowfell?
I do not know. There are limits even to my knowledge.
I don't think the card is linked to this. But the Shadowfell is a very real place. And it's very much coming for Reliquiae. Sounds like it's going to flood Reliquiae.
Are they all that big there?
I has never been.
Can you go? How does one get to the Shadowfell?
I has never tried.
He needs to speak with themselves.
We must. And again, Parvis puts his hand on your shoulder, and says, "Themself is a virtuous. Themself is a god. But I believes themself has lessons to learn. From you. From I. They can turn the tide. You must help when I speaks."
And I slips into Draconic.
I will always be there to help.
I'm glad of it. Away in the woods.
This is very bad.
Allow me to put jovial music on.
I think you find his situation right now is anything but jovial.
I see something bad. A bit threatened. I don't recognize it at the moment.
I need you to stop talking.
Well, I need to listen now.
Yeah, okay.
I need a moment to
Yeah. Kel, please.
I'm looking for herbs that will counteract an allergy.
I just want to say that appreciate.
Your tongue always get you in this much trouble.
No. I've never had it.
Roll me investigation or nature.
Oh, well. Where's my nature? There it is.
Eight. There is nothing in this immediate locality.
I keep searching.
Okay. You can roll once more in this area, see if you can find anything better.
That's a 17.
Okay. Yes, with the 17, you find a wide, flat leaf which has dozens and dozens of tiny spurs, like almost microscopic spurs, which when rubbed onto an affected area, essentially draw an impurity from the body in that area.
Wait. I'm gonna get my like a flask of water and just kind of give it a good rinse first.
Rub,
What are you doing?
Shut up and just
Of
here.
course you don't. What are you doing?
Take a big leaf and I pull his chin down and I slap it on his tongue.
Ow!
Yeah, well, you idiot. You just gotta stop licking things.
I'm not. I knew I was going to thing.
I'd love to think that you'd learn a lesson from this, but I doubt it somehow.
Why are you blaming it on me? I can just look
Hold
at thing.
still.
And you feel, Radian, the swelling around your tongue quite quickly subsides. And your eyes, gradually the pressure around your eyes lessen. And within a minute or so.
Well, that was embarrassing.
I promised to be there when you need help. Wasn't an invitation to do stupid stuff.
I didn't think it was stupid at the time. I thought I could have figured out what that mushroom was, and clearly, I'm now blighted.
Other materials are available apart from your tongue. Why is that the first thing you go for?
It worked last time.
Did
Cool
it?
stuff happened. I just thought cool stuff might happen again, and it didn't. I'm blighted, and apparently I'm allergic to that very specific mushroom. To be honest, it's put me off mushrooms.
Again, your tongue isn't always the answer. Thank you, Kel.
Okay, was that you?
To be honest, I thought I would lick it too.
Oh my god.
See? Kel also has the right idea. Good thing you're welcome for saving you.
I'm not allergic to mushrooms.
I just feel like we're missing something really important by being out here in the woods. Talking about random stuff and rubbing things on your tongue. We could have been back there talking to Parvis about...
You don't have to be.
Yeah, but I just feel this sense of obligation
I
to stop you from
I
doing
think
it.
you wanted to be there. I think you wanted to see me embarrass myself.
Yeah, I kind of did.
No, you did, because you didn't have to be here. You know nothing about nature. I see you. Have you seen what he does? He knows nature.
Oh,
you
because
need to be here.
I was here for the good idea of bringing him out here in the first place.
No, you're here to mock me. That's what this is. You want to use this against me.
And I absolutely will.
Do you been putting spoons in my...
Do you remember when we were carving spoons together?
I sure do.
Yes.
Good, now kiss and make up.
Oh, with that tongue? I don't think so.
What's wrong with my tongue? It's fine now. It's fine now.
It was a figure of speech.
I'm sorry for snapping at you.
It's fine. Used to it by now. Just gonna spin around in my heel and walk away.
Were you really going to lick it?
I was thinking of it. It's how I find out sometimes whether something is edible or not.
No, it's just like a thing that I was raised for to do. You know, it's like you lick something, you taste it.
I think maybe you never breastfed as a child.
Hey, shout out to formula. It's kept a lot of babies very alive.
I think maybe you have an oral fixation.
What do you mean by that?
You like to put things in your mouth.
Yeah, so what?
It's not a bad thing, except when it is a bad thing.
You're making it seem like it is a bad thing. You can't say it's not a bad thing and then just say what you just said.
Back at the fire. Dolly walks into the light.
Where have you been? There's some really important stuff that you've missed.
I just had a feeling.
You could have been here for this.
Yeah, I had to stop other party members from killing themselves.
We've tried before, but he seems determined to do it. I don't know.
I'm gonna stop trying soon. What did we miss?
Iron and Parvis having a conversation in Draconic, and then you just hear Parvis go, "I will die as one of them."
Well, I can tell you that Barabask is getting his powers from the Shadowfell, which appears to be leaking into Reliquiae. How's about that?
Oh, we did miss something important. How about that? Pardon?
It's exactly as I said it, and we're going to go find a god.
Parvis explains the plan and he explains that the plan would be to make your way to Alvelion, and he can lead you to a place which will take you to the Old Dark.
How long will it take for us to get to themselves?
I cannot take you precisely to the Old Dark. It would be to give away its location. But when Alvelion was founded, himself fearing more than ever that they would be shunned and that they would have to flee, created a path from Alvelion to the Four Forests, beneath which is the Old Dark. The Four Forests are in the southeast of the continent. The mother, the sister, the wise and the child. You would all have heard of them. Four forests where perpetually in 4 different seasons.
Slipping into Draconic. How dangerous will it be for them?
No more dangerous than it will be for you or I.
I think this is of the utmost importance.
Then I will lead you there. Then back into common, he goes, all of you will be led there by me.
We need to rest.
So does I. Who's going to take a watch tonight?
I'll take one, because I haven't taken one in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take a follow-up watch.
Great. That'll do for me. Go ahead.
I would like to almost, in my attempt at falling asleep, I want to lie and I just want to kind of meditate to sleep, sort of thing, kind of trying to just sort of like listen, take into account what Parvis said, and I'm going to lie there, put a claw on the soil on either side of my back. As I drift to sleep, I'm attempting to I'm just trying to open myself to things as I drift.
So Elwyn sits down to take the first watch. The rest of you huddle up around the fire. Kelness will take the second. Roll me a flat perception, just one.
19. Wait, it's perception. It's perception, yeah, 19.
19. With a 19, most of the rest of them fall asleep faster than you. Because this, in trying to find some kind of center and some kind of peace, ruminating on the things that Parvis has said to you, you're sort of awakened to the sensations around you. You become keenly aware of the soil. You become vividly aware of those winds that have passed through the canopy and drift softly across your face. You hear the breaths of your companions, the flickering of the fire. You can sense its heat. You can pinpoint where it is exactly. You start to tune into all these sensations. And then you hear another sound. And it's like a scratching in the earth. And you roll over and look peer in the direction of that sound, and you see a small winged creature, a tiny little round owl, scratching with its feet, creating a little burrow into the solid earth, this solid, almost frozen earth at the base of a tree about 20 yards from you. And then once you've seen this owl that creates this burrow and then buries itself within, turns its head out, you see these two round eyes peeking out into the dark. You start to hear more noises. You hear the calls of some birds. You hear small animals snuffling in the undergrowth. You feel tiny, tiny movements of an ant as it crawls across your clawed hand, over the top of your hand and away. And you wonder if maybe this is what Parvus was talking about. That your tribe is not just your friends and those you speak with. Your tribe is not just the kobolds and those you grew with. Your tribe is everything. Your tribe is the birds and the beasts and everything in the crater that is Reliquiae. And with that, you drift off into sleep. And we'll take a little break there.
If you're like me, then you love Funko Pop. Of course you do. What's not to love? It's all in the name. Fantasy. Unlimited fantasy. No limits on fantasy. Okay, cool. No limits on fantasy. I was worried for a second. You know how I worry. Oh, I know you do. You worry all the time. I'm glad I've been a balm to your otherwise unchecked paranoia. You do like to worry. Also, do you like D&D? Paul? I'm talking to you. Stop hiding behind that old grandfather clock. Do you like D&D? Of course I do, Ben. I'm a figment of your imagination that you conjured up specifically to help with the narrative structure of this ad read. Paul? I'm glad I made you up. Funko are gonna love this. They've hired me to tell fans of Natural Six about their new range of D&D themed pops. Pops, Paul! Pops! While Paul may be a figment of my imagination, the quality and artistry of these D&D themed Funkos certainly isn't. Who wouldn't want a 5.35-inch tall cutesy figurine of the draconic monstrosity Icing Death? I know Paul does, even if he's still hiding behind the grandfather clock. And while you're all foaming at the synapses, let's not forget one of the most alluring icons in the Dungeons & Dragons pantheon, Drist the Drow Ranger. All 3.75 inches of him, and he comes with a panther, as every sex-positive person should. He also loves friendship, and he's looking for yours specifically. They come as a pair. I'll let your mind take it from here. And let's not forget the Lady of Pain, a being so enigmatically powerful that even the gods stay away. Coming in at an unsettlingly long 5.4 inches, I'm kinda with the gods here. That's a lot of pain, my lady. And last but not least, it's D&D's answer to every intrusive thought I've ever had. The gelatinous cube, exclusive to GameStop.com. Even Paul's poking his head out from behind his antique mahogany timepiece at the concept of that sweet deal. We know you want it. I want it. Just let go. The cube can fill in the rest. Cube aside, all of these stunning figures are now available at the old 3 W's followed by a full stop followed by GameStop.com. That's 3 W's GameStop.com. www.gamestop.com. What's that, Paul? You don't need the 3 W's anymore? Well, look who's suddenly grown 5.4 inches. I don't normally like being corrected, but for you, I'll make an exception. You are part me after all. I'd only be fighting with myself. I may be angry at the timing, but I'm proud of you. Grab the new Dungeons & Dragons Funko Pops, and if you're feeling extra spicy, throw in a cube or two at GameStop.com. Paul's already got 3 in his basket. What a strange imaginary man.
And we're back.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So we are still at the beginning of the night. Elowen, roll me a perception check. Do you have your goggles of the night on?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's night time. I can't see anything if I don't.
Very good. All right then.
Sordid way to phrase them.
Radian,
Very sordid way to phrase
Radian, who is obviously in a trance, sees the gogs and goes, "Oh God!" Sorry. As you were. Anyway, back to it.
It's a 6.
Yeah, not a lot going on here. You consider whether you should stalk to the edge of the forest and look out over a lake and see if you can see ships, but you kind of can't quite figure out whether or not that's the thing to do. And so you're sat sort of caught between two paths of action, not sure what the best one is. Parvus's words and the idea that the vial that the Vile have found a way to give power to Barabask. These things kind of cloud your vision and your senses. But your watch passes without incident. And then you hand over to Cal. Cal, roll perception check.
28.
28. The forest is, you see, as you look out with this 28, that more and more of these plants, not as if it's actively spreading, but more and more of these plants you start to notice have some traces of this black on them. This blight. What do you think about? What are you thinking about tonight in the dark?
I'm thinking about my... meeting my parents. And the vision that I was shown by Parvis. By Carvelian.
Yeah.
Carvelius. And I'm feeling like there are more answers. Where I was frightened before of finding answers, I now want to seek them out, knowing that my parents were murdered. And it appears that they were murdered by the web. I want to know more.
And as you, as your thoughts drift in this direction, you put your hand down and you touch the pendant, which, just a failure of storytelling from me, was placed on the egg by your mother when she gave you to your father, the man who raised you. And as your mind wrestles with these possibilities and these things you've done and these things you've seen, the rest of your watch passes without incident. And I think we'll just call that a long rest for everyone. Technically, there should be one more to give everyone 8. I'm quite content to call that the night. And you wake up in the morning, and you are level 7. Yeah! Wow. So, we're going to roll some HP. Who would like to go first? And who would like to roll...
No.
Okay.
Do you know what?
I will.
Yeah, I'll happily roll in that.
Okay, so
Let's break this juju.
who would like to go first?
Raiden.
I will.
So, Radian, you are rolling a D6.
A very special D6, actually.
Oh, really? Do tell.
A very special D6 that was given to me at MCM Comic Con. And inside the D6 are a pack of playing cards, a deck of many friends
Ooh.
inside.
Marvellous. So you are rolling a D6 plus your Constitution modifier. Our homebrew rule, as you will all know by now, if you roll a 1 the first time around, you may re-roll it, but you must take the second roll.
To prove to you how easy it is to get it in this.
That is a 5.
Boom.
Plus a 2.
That is 7 more HP added to the pile in Radian's chest.
It is 42.
42 HP. That's a lovely old job.
I felt quite like underpowered recently, but now I feel very strong.
Like a very strong boy.
Yeah, even though I'm blighted, I feel strong.
Who would like to go next?
I'm going to roll with a dice that I was also given at MCM, but this one was from Tabletop Dom in Ion. And I want to use this one because it has a little draconic eye inside it.
The organ, not the you.
I, the organ, not the me. I, the me, not the character. I'm rolling the die with the eye, the organ, not the
You
character.
or the character.
Yeah. It's a 1, and roll again.
Oh, could be good, could be ill.
It's a 6.
Whoa!
It's a 6
we
plus
love
a
it here.
2. That's...
Don't you roll a D8 as a rogue?
I do!
My God!
Jesus Christ.
I was so excited to...
You're now definitely going to roll worse on a
Yep.
D8 than you
Yep.
do on that.
It's a 5.
Okay, it's a 5.
It's a 5.
Plus
It's
your
not that bad.
No, it's
I wasn't
not.
even-
Plus your Constitution modifier,
Yeah.
which is a.
2.
Okay, so
it's
7 HP.
which takes me up to 52.
Ooh, who would like to roll next?
Go on then.
And would you like to roll in the
No,
tower, Aoife Wilson?
absolutely
Oh,
not.
okay. You a little bit frightened of
You
some.
terrified.
You frightened of some 3D printed
No,
plastic?
I just believe in myself.
Okay.
I believe in the power.
I want
not
you to get a
do it.
2
I
more
will
than
not be
anything.
bullied.
Come on.
I will not be bullied.
I'm not
Take it away.
I think we're on a I think we're on a hiding to nothing, trying to get
Just pressure,
trying to get
not bullied.
Aoife to do something.
I don't have to do
Say
what you
narcolepsy.
tell me. No. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to. That's a 7.
Ooh, do you
Plus
have to get a
my-
D? Is that a D8?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Plus your new +1 to Constitution is 8 extra HP. The glass cannon is becoming a cannon.
Yes, because now I have 47.
Whoa! Would anyone else like to roll in the skull tower, or shall I take it away?
Take it away.
Okay.
No.
Why are you all scared of the skull tower?
I don't know. They
It's
can
awful, that's why.
Well, say that to crafted campaigns.
Mark, not you. You're lovely. It's
Mark,
just that
The tower, not the mark.
Yeah.
big curse.
The gift that you made us, they hate. I love it.
Beautiful.
Ben
I
and
just
I
don't
really
trust it.
appreciate
I
it.
hate it.
We genuinely appreciate you.
Would
So-
other people like to make us nice
Who else
dice
would?
towers?
Who else would like? No, we shan't encourage. We shan't encourage anyone other than
I would like
Marvellous
another
Mark.
one, please.
Who would like to go? Elowen
This
or
makes me really nervous. Yeah. It's just 3.
did you get a 2 on the die? You don't have a plus anything to your Constitution modifier. What's your Constitution score?
+3.
My constitution's 11.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't have constitution. That's really upset me.
Oh my
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cons big, babies.
the
Cons big.
timing.
What's your max HP now?
58.
58. You're still the highest. You're still.
I won't be though. He will be, and that really annoys me. Because I'm supposed to be the tank.
Go on. Well, then put points in con.
No,
You've had
because-
multiple ability score. You've had one more ability score improvement than everyone else. You haven't put anything in
I put him in
con.
Dex because again I was failing in other areas. So like I didn't roll that well.
Con will never let you down.
You miss leg day.
You did miss. He does skip leg day.
skip leg
You look
day.
down and you see that Elowen
twigs.
has like little twiglets.
There's nothing for me. Like Constitution does nothing. Like
Got legs like bamboo canes.
It does. This is what it does.
I one day just goes to put a reassuring pat on Elowen and just kind of goes.
I really wanted to break
Like-
free so bad.
She's got hollow legs. She's got legs like the tubes of like wrapping paper tubes.
Yeah.
It's really gonna bother me now.
Go on, Kel. Roll your D8 for your druid.
Can I say something respectfully?
Go on.
I actually think, I know we're joking, I actually think, Elowen has a great ass. I don't think.
sure.
I don't think.
Sure,
think
if that's,
I
I don't know.
right.
Would you
I know
like? Would
I
she
do.
like? Would you like Elowen to have a great ass?
Yeah, of course.
She's got a great ass. She got a great ass.
I just want everyone to know that. So, when I just think that's lovely. They're not tubes. They're
I
lovely.
think that's
legs.
canon. I just think that's canon.
Doug, you seem to be doing a lot of Googling and clicking.
I'm trying to work with D&D Beyond. It's audit when I leveled up on there. It gave me my max.
You
wanted to
It
go
gave
back
me
and
my
change.
max. So
yeah,
right.
I had a
Right.
51. I had 51.
Do you want me to do the max? The overlay?
Let's. I'll tell you what. Can we not? Can we?
Yeah.
Can you just write down your HP for this session and we can
Yeah,
fix
yeah.
it in between?
Yeah.
So it's a D8.
Yep. 6. Web is a 6, isn't it? So 6 plus my Constitution modifier is 9.
Sorry, web won't be. Web is a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Of course.
Yeah,
it is.
web
He's
is
using our dice, yeah.
9. So what's your max HP now?
What was that? 9. 60.
Thank you, little buckskin boy.
Am I still the weakest?
So let's do roll call. What are we on now, Radiant?
I'm very happy. It's 42.
42. Elowen?
58.
Kel is 61. Did you say 61?
60.
52.
47.
Yeah. So you're a little weak. You're a little.
As it should be. You're a wizard.
Yeah, you are a wizard.
You are. You have to
Harry?
admit you're a wizard. Okay, and you wake the next morning full of vim, full of vigor, full of the joys of spring.
In the depths of winter.
In the depths of winter. And Parvus has a lot more colour in the gold of his the red of his cheeks. He is he looks perfectly capable of travelling.
As he wakes up, feels this sense of understanding and connection.
Mm-hmm.
And is going to turn his attention to the burrow, which is now empty.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to just sit in front of it for a moment, close his eyes, focus on the burrow.
Mm-hmm.
He sits there for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And he stands up and he begins sort of readying himself for the day.
Okay. So Parvis tells you that Alvelion is to the east, at the base of Mount Atria. It's a day's journey from here, and you'll be travelling through the forest. Is there anything you want to do to prepare before you leave, or are you happy to hit the road?
Kel, how are you feeling?
I have been contemplating our experience in the tower last night while on watch. I was told by my elven father that he believed my parents to be good, but I did not know. Now I truly believe that they were good. It is a good feeling.
I don't think anyone that has met you would ever be in doubt.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Ready to face the new adventure? Or the next one?
I have questions, I seek answers. But yes, I am ready.
That figure we saw in the mist at the end of that vision, I assume they looked as familiar to you as they did to me?
They did.
Just want you to know that I'm sure I speak for everyone else in our little fine family that we were ready to face him before. We're definitely ready to face him now.
I want his head on a stake.
I'll help you put it there.
If that vision was true, and I have no reason to think it isn't, the web has killed all of my family.
Calnus, why did you join the web?
I was seeking answers to my true heritage.
How wonderful of the web. To know the answer and still let you get trapped within it.
I also needed friends and employment.
The web is indeed a generous employer.
I did not know when I joined with the web the price that it would cost me.
No one does, or none of us would have been here.
Well, he has not found friends. He has found tribe.
And what happens to you, I? What happens when you find your tribe? Your original tribe.
I think maybe my understanding of tribe is slightly different now.
I understand that.
I does not know what we will find. I does not know really who themself is. Everything I thought was the world. It feels like it was all stories.
In fairness, I think up until a few weeks ago, we all thought the world was pretty different.
But I is ready to find out.
I think we need to find out.
Are you ready to meet your god, little brother?
I just hope they is ready for me.
I think they are ready for you.
No one's ready for I.
This is true.
How long has this we've just sort of been going about our...
I know what you're getting at, so
Yeah.
so be specific. Do you want to hang?
Do you think
until it-
about an hour has passed?
No, I don't think so yet. I
Okay.
think you'd have to ask people to wait.
I wants to leave, but I is not certain. But I thinks I has a better understanding of what's the world is now, and I thinks there is something coming to me. And I would ask my tribe to trusts me and just waits a little longer.
I'm okay with that. I'm hungry. I did think maybe in the light of day, I might have more luck finding something edible in this semi-blighted forest.
I don't think we should eat anything we find in this forest, quite frankly. I could do without two of us being blighted.
Pava says, I saw a small owl that we could perhaps...
And then I, remembering that the burrow was empty, goes, "Did you?"
Fine, well, I'm going to go sit by the lake.
Great. Roll me a perception check as you near the lake.
Not really. That is just a 10.
That's it. You see a craft out on the water, in between the Sanctum and Cisco. You don't reckon, you can't tell if it's Aska's or a different craft, not from here.
Dolly, can we have a look at this? Point out towards the lake.
Yeah, perception.
18.
18. This is not Aska's ship. This is a ship with these magnificent bright white sails. And on the greatest of these sails, you just about make out a golden sword.
It's pretty.
What is it?
Ship.
Whose ship? Assuming it's Alaska.
No, that's a bit too... It's a little bit nicer than hers. White sails, gold sword.
Dragon Ball.
Ah.
That would be the Fortis Legion.
Yep. Might not want to hang around too much longer, I also, while we're sort of milling around anyway, go over to Parvis and be like, you said something about the four forests. Is that where we're ending up?
Yes. The old dark lays beneath the forests.
So there, in theory, be a way we'd reach the surface around there?
We would imagine.
Roll me an insight check.
17.
You sense hesitation in Parvis. These are ancient secrets of his people. And for all his worldliness, there is still just that slight, so almost like an inbuilt, innate reticence to reveal this most precious of secrets. Roll me persuasion with advantage. He wants to...
Natural 20
Okay.
plus 10 for persuasion.
Okay, right, okay. It was actually a DC 31. And then you watch him kind of actively master that and decide that he needs to live as he preaches. And he says,
There is a cave beneath the virtuous hall in the fallen city of Alvelion. There is a gate
That gate takes us to a cave just below the surface of the four forests. From there, we will find our way to the surface, and I shall lead you to the entrance of the Old Dark.
Interesting. That's all.
Did we hear any of this?
Don't know. Were you trying to be surreptitious?
No.
Okay, so anyone who kind of wanted to have been listening in on that can have been and was.
Something for you in the forests?
Yeah.
Something you want to find in the forests?
Yeah. Someone that doesn't want me to find them.
That sounds like fun.
This person is the entire reason I'm here right now. And I don't mean that in a nice way.
This sounds like fun.
We'll see. Just on my radar, that's all.
And I would say enough time has passed now.
I've been stood, listening, feeling attuned, and over my right shoulder is the burrow, and I just hear this little scratching sound. And from the burrow appears a small burrowing owl. Not the one that was in there last night. And I feel a connection to this owl. And a burrowing owl is a very little type of owl. I hold up my arm. And this owl flaps, takes a short flight, just rests on my arm, and it is, to me, feels basically weightless. And I close my eyes, and I connect with this owl, and the owl closes its eyes, and then the owl opens its eyes, and I is looking through the eyes of the owl at his tribe. And this is my familiar. And I opens his eyes and brings the familiar close to his face. And he smiles. And he says, "Hey, things I understand a little better."
He's so cute! It's so tiny! What?
Is this a celestial, a fae, or a fiend?
Celestial.
So it's this tiny little owl. What colour is it?
I'm going to go with, it is almost like the feathers are flecked with flame. When you look at them, there's nothing fiery about them, but to look at, there's a kind of a slight burning ember kind of appearance to this owl. The eyes are bright yellow, just bright yellow. And I thinks I will call you. You.
Oh, you and I.
You and I.
Look at his little feet.
It is a good name. And you see Parvus like gives you a look as if to say, that's what I meant.
And this bird kind of makes its way up and just sits on my shoulder.
Little brother, you have a friend.
We has one more in the tribe.
A good addition to the tribe.
I think I is ready.
We've got you, we've got Hank. If only we still had Brian.
We're fine without Brian.
I miss Brian.
I turns to you and goes,
You would love Brian.
We all did.
No, we didn't.
Every single one of them.
Look, there's Dragonborn out on the lake, and I'm pretty sure it's us they're looking for. Let's get out of here.
Then you head into the forests of Alvelia.
I just realized that this owl named you is going to make pronouns
Even
really-
worse.
Even more difficult. There is something permanently called I, something permanently.
Could you explain Find Familiar?
Yeah.
What
Why
it
don't you
is?
tell us the
Okay.
spell find?
Yes.
Read us the spell find familiar.
So, find familiar. You gain the service of a familiar, a spirit that takes an animal form you choose. Bat, cat, frog, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, rat, raven, spider, weasel, or another beast that has a challenge rating of 0. Appearing in an unoccupied space within range, the familiar has the statistics of the chosen form, though it is a celestial, fey, or though it is a celestial, fey, or fiend, your choice.
It's hard. The recaps are hard, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Instead of a beast. Your familiar acts independently of you, but it obeys your commands. Now, you have telepathic connection. While your familiar is within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, as a bonus action, you can see through the familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn, gaining the benefits of any special senses it has. Finally, when you cast a spell with a range of touch, your familiar can deliver the touch. Your familiar must be within 100 feet of you, and it must take a reaction to deliver the touch when you cast the spell. Combat, the familiar is an ally to you and your allies, so it rolls its own initiative and acts on its own turn. A familiar can't attack, but it can take other actions as normal. So basically, for someone like myself who is a rogue, I can maneuver my familiar within 5 feet of an enemy, and as it's an ally, I get my sneak attack. But the benefit of the owl is that because owls are silent, they are like famously very quiet birds, it can enter and leave the space of an enemy without provoking an opportunity attack. So basically, it's a very good way of kind of taking control of the battlefield in a way that hasn't necessarily been available to a rogue in the same way up to that point. I can only have one familiar at a time.
And when it drops to 0 HP,
Yeah.
It only has 1 HP.
Yeah, it's basically
So
like, hit
it's
it,
like
it's gone.
and it takes an hour to bring it back.
It takes an hour to bring it back, but what I did then was I waited for over an hour and 10 minutes, is a ritual, and I cast it as a ritual.
So it doesn't use a
It
spell
doesn't
slot.
use a spell slot.
Yeah, we've never used ritual castings before.
Yeah,
So
no,
ritual casting is a way that spellcasters can buff themselves for the day. There are only certain spells that can be cast as ritual, and in the 2024 Player's Handbook, a ritual just means you add 10 minutes to the casting time, which on a spell that takes an hour anyway, you may as well always cast it as a ritual, but you could cast a spell that was instantaneous in 10 minutes if it has a ritual option available.
The only ritual spell I have is silence. It can be a ritual.
Yes. So you could prepare an area that you thought you were going to be maybe ambushed by a spellcaster. You want to lure them into an area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as Alex says, ritual means it doesn't take a spell slot.
But so when I leveled up, I got to add 2 spells, and I could replace one with the level up. So actually, the only spell that I had which required me to touch someone and I could give it to someone else was jump, but I've now got rid of that. But for example, I could have
Given jump
jump by having you fly over to an ally and touch them, and the ally, the familiar can cast on my ally on my behalf.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought he did a lot with shape water,
Right.
I ain't seen nothing yet.
So the journey to the western edge of Alvelion takes a full day. So long the seat of power and knowledge. The city began to decay with unnatural speed when the virtuous abandoned it for Mount Atria. I would like someone to roll me a luck check.
In the tower?
No.
Please
Hey,
don't.
You don't
Ben?
want me to roll?
No,
Ben?
just not in the tower.
Ben? In the tower.
No, not in the tower. That's
No, because we didn't do it in the tower last time. But what did work is if I hit it off the top of something and
Yeah,
it
go
rolled,
on.
that went
Okay.
really well.
Nat 20. 3. Do you know what? If you hadn't moved that, would have stopped
No,
it. That would
but-
have 17.
Actually,
Oh,
that is your
shut up.
Unbelievable. That's
You're not
outrageous.
rolling any more luck
Stupid
checks.
rolling
That's
problems.
outrageous.
Luck check 3.
Why did you move that?
Because it would have been cocked
Honestly,
anyway,
guys,
Alex.
we are fighting already, and
Unbelievable.
that is not okay. You're getting very aggressive.
Let you fucking do that luck check, not anymore.
Put your big tongue back in your mouth.
You are making your way through the forest, Parvus leading. And you...
The bird, not.
The party.
Crew.
You start to make your way through areas where it's more apparent that this light has taken hold. The further and deeper into the forest you go, the blacker things become.
Do we have to be wary where we tread?
I think he's getting to that.
What the man?
Let me roll another luck.
Allow me, if I may,
Yeah.
to have another go. Everyone roll me dexterity checks. Not stealth, just use your basic dexterity modifier. This is not a saving throw, it is an ability check. I'll have Parvus roll as well. What did you get, Dolly?
16.
16.
11.
11.
6.
6.
16.
16.
7.
7. Kel, you're normally the guide through the forests. But Parvus knows the way. Parvus has been through these forests before. Parvus is ancient almost as this land. And so you relax. Your mind drifts back to thoughts of your family. You're ruminating on everything you've seen, everything you've learned. And you place your hand on the trunk of a tree for support, and it shifts and moves. And this entire tree turns itself towards you. Everybody roll initiative.
Speak to it.
Okay, anyone get higher than a 20?
I just got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Anyone get higher than a 15?
19.
19. 17. Anyone get higher than a 10?
I got 10.
I just realised it rolls its own initiative, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to roll initiative twice now,
so-
babes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I realised that I was
No, just do it. It's totally fine. Have you rolled it?
Yeah.
Great, golden. What did it get?
It got a 10.
It got a 10. So we got a 10.
This is the start. This is the start. Oh, wait, a bit about Harry, actually. Can I go back? Because the owl could have...
You need to do
No,
this.
because I could have...
My boy!
I do love the way this comes as I've just got a dog. So I'm basically going to have the same sort of like, I will die for this.
What did I get?
Not one.
No.
I think you might be the first ever person to have Find Familiar.
Okay, that is Elowen's turn. This thing reaches out towards Kelnis with branches and roots that are looking to twist around his body and bring him into the trunk of the tree.
I'm just going to take a swipe at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 17.
17 hits.
And it hits for 10.
Okay.
And that is... It's something like a 23.
Yep, hits.
And that hits for 9.
Okay.
And then I'll attack it with my dagger.
Yep.
She's on it.
And that hits for like 24. No, it is like... It's a hit at 24.
So it was a 10 and then it was a 9.
Yep.
Yep.
And now
And now you
it's...
have a 24 to hit, which does, yes.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, and it's another 9.
Another 9.
And that's what I'm going to do for now.
Okay, great. Radiant, that is your turn. You see this, it's almost as if the trunk of the tree parts and sort of splits horizontally across the center of itself. And what the splintered wood forms the shape of a jagged mouth.
Yeah. I think he's pretty nonchalant about this for some reason.
I think after everything that's happened in the last 12 hours, I think it's pretty much
It's kind of like he's kind of
courses now,
for
aren't
him,
we?
For him, it's a bit like, oh, whatever. So he's not going to use a spell slot. He's going to use Toll the Dead. So that is wisdom save.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's not that wise.
I won't tell you. It rolled a nat 20.
It's pretty damn wise for a tree, you know?
So it takes
None. Cantrip.
damage. But I'll roll it anyway because I want to see what we would have done. No. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens, I'm afraid. Kelnis, this thing is right up next to you. You are in its space. You had your hand on it, and suddenly it has come to life.
I am going to cast Fire Shield at level 4.
This is new, right?
This is
Can
new.
you read us Fire Shield? I don't even
Level
know.
four
I don't
spell.
think I even know this spell.
Yeah, it's an awesome spell, actually. So, it takes one action. It lasts for 10 minutes. Thin and wispy flames wreathe your body for the duration, shedding bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. The flames provide you with a warm shield or a chill shield as you choose. The warm shield grants you resistance to cold, the chill against fire. In addition, whenever a creature within 5 feet of you hits you with a melee attack, the shield erupts with flame. The attacker takes 2d8 fire damage from a warm shield or 2d8 cold damage from a chill shield. So I have a warm shield around me.
Cool.
Sounds lovely.
Brilliant. Love that.
And
Are you wearing a sort of magical electric blanket?
yeah,
Toasty.
and that's it.
Cool. Great. That is Parvis's turn. Parvis cannot. Parvis is effectively. This is how Parvis works. Parvis can regain HP. Parvis can use cantrips. Parvis can't use leveled magic. But Parvis does have one damage-dealing cantrip, which he's able to use. So he reaches out his hand, and flame-like radiance descends around this tree and starts to lick at the branches and around this jagged, shattered, splintered wood mouth. And it's going to make a dexterity saving throw, which it just fails. And therefore it is going to take... Oh, I rolled 2 8s on 2d8. Takes
Beautiful.
16 radiant damage.
Wow.
That is...
Nice cantrip.
that is a nice cantrip. It is a nice cantrip. That is Parvis's turn. Parvis doesn't feel the need to move away or move closer. That is the tree light's turn. It is going to take a branch attack. Reaches out a branch, tries to slam it down onto you, Kel. That is a dirty 20 to hit.
And as it does, I'm going to throw my sword in between them and go, I don't think so. And I'm going to intercept.
So this is, at level 7, Elowen gets to pick a second fighting style, and you chose Interceptor.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I can use it as a reaction. I believe it is once per
Yeah,
turn.
once per turn, yeah.
And I can reduce the damage by 1d8 plus my fighter level. 1d10 plus my fighter level.
Cool.
And the person has to be within 5 feet of me, so
Yeah,
Cal and I both.
absolutely. So I'm going to roll the damage, and then you can reduce the damage, and then, of course, because it's hitting you and you've got your warm shield up, you can then tell me how much damage it takes, but we'll do it in that order. So this is 3d6 plus 6 bludgeoning damage. This is a big tree, and it hits hard, he says, rolling a 3, a 2, and a 1 on 3d6. So it's 12 damage total, which is reduced by...
It is reduced by, so now I'm level 7, it's reduced by 9.
So it's 3 damage to you, Cal.
3 damage.
And what damage is done to the tree blight from your warm shield?
6 fire damage.
6 fire damage.
Yeah.
So it slams a branch down, and then it's Elowen's short sword that sort of absorbs some of that damage as it goes to slam its branch into Cal. Elowen manages to shear off some of the wood and lessen the impact. And it turns its form towards you, Elowen. It's going to make a grasping root attack at you, which is a dirty 20. And you are now grappled until you need to use an action to try and free yourself.
Sure.
And that, at the start of your turn, you will take some damage.
Right.
And because it now has you grappled, it's going to use its bonus action. It's going to bite you.
Oh,
That's a 28 to hit.
that thing's rolling well.
It has a +9 to hit. This is a beefy tree. And that is 20 piercing damage to you. Wow. That is your use turn.
How far am I and you from the tree looking at the moment?
I would say you're all within 30 feet of it. There's no reason for you to... You're following Parvus. Parvus was at the front. I don't see any reason for you to have massively spread out and gone, kind of walked a different path. Parvus is leading you through this forest. It makes sense, I think, that you would all stay reasonably close to one another.
Kel is obviously by the tree. I'm going to go with you is just going to sweep to the sort of, let's say, 12 o'clock. I'm at 6 o'clock for the tree, so we are...
Yep.
It's between us.
Say that again.
So if the tree is the center of the clock...
Oh, okay, so
right,
you're
let's
having
say
it sweep around the back.
So from where I'm 6, it's at 12, we're at opposite sides, basically, of this clock.
And how close do you want it to get?
It doesn't provoke opportunity attack.
No, I know. I was asking where you're positioning.
Oh, so
We're
it's
gonna
like
be
30 feet. It has a 60 feet
30
by,
feet.
so we're
Great,
at
great,
30
great,
and
great.
30.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything on its action?
No.
Okay. Dolly, that's your turn.
I'm going to look at the tree and be like, you really gotta loosen up. You look very wooden. And as I say that, the word wooden almost seems to like reverberate around, just like resonate in its head a little bit. I'm casting Dissonant Whispers at level 3. And it needs to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. That's a 2.
Yes, that is a fail, so it's going to take 3d6 psychic damage, and it must use its reaction immediately if available to move as far away from me as its movement will allow.
3d6 psychic, okay.
Yeah. 6, yeah, 12.
12 damage. It takes this psychic damage from your fierce burn, burning almost as much as the fire did. And it, with Elowen still wrapped in one of its roots, starts to stumble away through the further into the forest. It moves 30 feet away from you. I'm going to say that brings it sort of level. If you're thinking about a clock face and going around the circumference of that clock face, let's say you is at 12, it's at 2, moving away. Elowen still wrapped up in it.
And then I'm going to use, look towards Eye and be like, don't worry, I've got my eye on you. That's my eye, the organ, and you, the bird. Never mind. And cast Bardic Inspiration.
Okay.
And I, in a word of affirmation, just goes, aye.
Aye.
That is your turn, I.
I would like to... I don't get any advantage unless... You know what? I'm going to do it. I would like to...
Elowen is within 5 feet of it. The tree is holding her.
Yeah, are we saying like...
She's not incapacitated.
She's not incapacitated?
No, she's grappled.
No, I'm grappled.
It's not
Great,
incapacitated.
okay, cool.
I will ensure that grappled doesn't mean incapacitated, but
Status effect.
it's a different thing.
Okay. I would like to position myself... I think I'm probably going to go a bit closer. I'm going to now move 30 feet in the direction towards, so I am that sort of a little bit closer, and I am going to take a shot with my magic crossbow. That is a 28.
Hits.
Yeah. 1d8 plus 6. That is an 8 plus the 6.
14.
14. And then my 3d6 for my sneak attack damage. The sneak attack damage, oh my god, I just rolled an 8 and then 3 6s. The maximum I can possibly do.
That's 18 damage for the...
For the sneak attack is 18 damage, yeah.
18 damage.
Yeah.
It had 16 HP left. How many heads are turning?
Just mine, let me down!
Do you know what? This is so spectacularly underwhelming. As a crossbow bolt fires into a tree, and what happens is the crossbow bolt just goes in and goes, and somehow, for some reason, this thing just and releases its grip on Elwyn, and it just kind of, the bark just begins to drop from it, and it just crumples onto the floor.
Yep.
It's a crossbow bolt, and I has kind of stood there, left, kind of going, I don't quite know how that. You're welcomes, everyone.
You are out of combat, Elwyn. You are as Eye's final bolt floods into it. The root releases you, and you drop to the ground.
Ow! Can't even carve spoons from this stupid tree.
Eye goes over and just grabs that bolt and is like, I need to keep hold of this one.
Radiant. You want to animate that?
No.
Creature. Creature. Animate dead is creatures. You can't just animate. It's a plant. It's a different creature.
Sorry, we can animate the Frankenstein.
I think it's humanoid.
Well, the
or is
question,
it,
he doesn't know that. He's just
Sure.
a zombie tree would be cool.
No, it wouldn't. Zombie nothing is cool.
It would be cool.
No, it really, really wouldn't.
Maybe we could call that tree Brian.
You want to lick it?
We could call it Briar.
Right. No animating the dead, no licking things. Can we just keep moving? And can someone just throw me a heal?
A heal.
What do you?
How much did you lose?
20.
Okay, I will cast it at 3rd level.
Thank you. I don't want to be weaker than Radiant.
Which,
I'm very strong, actually.
yeah.
You saw what happened to me when I licked that mushroom.
You're really strong.
I could have
20.
died, but I survived.
7 plus 4, 11. Sorry.
Thank you.
That was what I rolled yesterday as well.
Parvus looks back at you all.
Says, we must be cautious. Darkness in the forest.
No, you tell us.
I thought it was apparent. It seemed relatively obvious given the wider context of the world. They likes to deal in metaphors. I never got the hangs of those now.
Parvis, why did the gods leave Advelion?
They were dying.
Was the blight there already?
No.
They just went so we wouldn't see them dying. To hide from us.
Gods are powerful things. Gods are things people believe in and must continue to have faith in. When they felt their powers beginning to fade, they wished the people to remember them as they were, not as what they would become. And we, Antiqua, was to act as intermediaries, servants of, passing on teachings, hiding their condition and their decay, their ultimate death. They knew this would happen.
Can I sidle up to Elwyn at this point and be like, gods are also pretty proud. Just think they wanted to save face.
Yeah, but I'm just sort of whispering to Dolly, I suppose, more than anything else, but they try to make everyone... They just made fools of people.
You is wrong.
And Parvus looks steely.
The vile, the wild, the virtuous. All saw that as mortality grew, their powers faded. What did the virtuous do to prevent mortality from flourishing? Nothing. They brought down no disasters. They began no wars. They murdered none. They allowed mortality to flourish in penance for the evils they had done upon it by lying. This was their punishment. That they would teach and they would allow all of us, all of you, to grow and to live. You carry something of them within you. You live, not that they might, but because they died, because they were willing. And they wished in their death to be remembered as they were.
That's just called finishing what you started.
That is called recompense.
They didn't even teach us everything. There are so many unanswers and the stuff we're learning about the Shadowfell, and I suppose the Feywild while we're at it, just conveniently left out. And now we're desperately trying to figure this all out, and we have none of the information.
He bows his head and he says,
We was meant to teach you these things,
Then why didn't you?
because before we had the chance, some of us was lost. Our power was tied to that of the Antiqua. When they were killed, our powers faded. Some could not hold on for long. The others that could were corrupted.
Genevieve and Runa, are they corrupted?
I does not know. When Barabask called for all the remaining Antiqua to come to him, I did not answer. I had gone to speak with those I considered wise.
I'm human. I don't live very long. But you've had a long time to teach us. And you chose not to.
For all powerful beings, you really seem to flail around in the dark just as much as the rest of us.
We is not all powerful.
And the gods are. Were.
Were. I does not pretend that they were perfect, nor that they are, nor that themself is.
What do you think of Barabask?
If I had the power, I would kill him myself.
Did he do this?
What?
We went up to the top of the mountain. We found gods dead. Did he do this, or did he take advantage? Was it his doing? Was he simply trying to survive? Do you know? Do you care?
I does not know for sure, but I cares. I does not believe that Barabask, even with the virtuous as weak as they were, had the power to slay so many gods.
No, he didn't.
So
The people he works for did.
that has come to light. It is my just like the virtuous, the Antiqua has failings. Carvilius's was pride. Mine was timidity. Barabask's was fear. Barabask was afraid of losing that which he had held for so long. He would have done anything to remain. And now he does anything to consolidate his power. Carvilius changed when she returned from meeting with him. The gem was what changed. She changed. Barabbas did not think me enough, did not think me important enough to control. But once I was imprisoned, Carvilius could deal with me. Barabbas was wrong.
and he tilts his chin up. This, other than I, the smallest creature, other than I and you, the smallest creature here by far, stood near the remnants of this great tree underneath this huge canopy of blighted, rotting wood. Everyone roll insight checks. Go ahead, Dolly.
I think it's an 8.
An 8. Radiant?
5.
5.
3.
3.
11.
11.
Also an 8.
It was a 10.
An 8, a 10. It's hard to get a read on him for all of you, actually. Hard to get a sense of whether he's angry or proud. You do, those of you who have a double figures do get the sense that he isn't lying about this. That is really how it happened.
Books, poems, stories, songs. It's all the gods have left us. Besides this mess.
We're not trying to be hard on you. This is all we've got. Crawling around in this crater, trying to figure it out.
The hunted god killers themselves.
You were blamed.
We took all the blame.
I pulls out.
Yeah. Yep. And he has a look at the...
I thought you were going to say pull out a T-shirt, the newly dead.
Do you pass it to you, who then delivers it?
Do you know what?
With a range of touch.
Do you know what? Yeah.
It's Rube Goldberg, dear. Don't need it.
Shake water to pass it to you.
And Parvis reads the letter, shakes his head.
Even then, I thought he would have taken longer to fall.
You can read.
Of course I can read. I learns to read. What use would I have been to the others?
My eyes can read as well, yes.
You would be only the second if you could. There is no shame. There is no shame of being who you are.
I took some books with me,
I was lying. I cannot read.
If you want to learn...
Can't I?
Of course, we can help you. You can understand the signs. You know the marks on the trees and the stones to look for when the tribes are sending messages. You know the phases of the moon. You understands these things. You understands the stories on the walls of the caves.
I would like to learn.
You can read, you cannot read words.
Next time we make camp, I took the books that taught me how to read. I had to learn too. We all did. We can teach you, it's gonna take a while.
He puffs his chest up and goes,
I can read a room.
He's really good at that.
That is a metaphor.
He's good at those.
He was learning too.
And then just like everybody else in Reliquiae, you can enjoy all the lovely poems and books and stories the gods left us.
See Spot run.
Spot run.
And you continue further into the forest. And as evening, you reach the outskirts of Alvelion. And you can see that the forest through which you have passed, a forest that once bordered the city, has now reclaimed its crumbling buildings and its empty streets. These trees and vines tangle around the stonework, and its ancient paths are covered with moss and rough grasses that poke through a light covering of snow. The trees here, the canopy, it's not had as much time to grow and flourish. Roll me perception checks, everyone. See if you can see what you can take in. Let's start with Radiant.
14.
14.
17.
17.
Natural one.
Natural 1.
13.
13.
Also a natural one.
Natural 1 as well.
I'm picking splinters out of me.
So anything below a 10, all you take in is just how ruined this place is. There's evidence of once beautiful architecture, masonry, sections of what would once have been kind of impossible, perfect circles that now the main body of them has crumbled, overtaken with plant life that is coated in this sheen, this film of blight. And those of you who are above a 10, in between a 10 and 15, which I think is just Radiant, you can see far in the distance is an almost still intact building. Would have once been a great circular stone temple with a domed ceiling, but that too is almost gone. You see this, Eloin.
Could I?
Can I finish what Eloin
Yes,
says?
yeah.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Don't be.
Can you finish what Eloin sees?
Eloin, you head a little forward from the others, past Parvus. You would have been really raised on stories of heroism, and you would have been raised on stories of Alvelian. Alvelian fell into ruin around a century ago. So all the stories that you've read felt like they were from another time, like an ancient time. You've read about the glory and splendor of Alvelian. I think it's probably reasonable to assume that if you go far back enough in generations, you would have family stories of being in Alvelian, communing with the gods, meeting with Ignace, the human god, human goddess, and that a great-great-grandfather. And each time the story's told, in the retelling it changes ever so slightly, but always for the benefit of it being a better tale. And as you stand here and take it all in, that couldn't feel further from the place where you are. And instinctively your eyes drop in disappointment. And you see, caught on a bit of loose masonry, a scrap of material, a scrap of cloth. It's slate grey.
I'm going to go over and pick it up, investigate it, I suppose.
Roll me investigation with advantage.
Very good at these usually. Yeah, it's a 12.
It's a 12. This is a gloam cloak. This is a piece of material from a gloam cloak.
Oh, wonderful. Our friends have already been here. The Gloam have been around.
Why would they be here?
Parvus looks just as confused as you do.
What's for them in a ruined city?
Unless they're looking for something. Like we're looking for something.
Maybe they're looking for the same thing.
How could they possibly know where...
Barabask.
The web is wide.
Carvilius.
And Parvus is sort of staring into the middle distance.
Years ago. Long, long ago. I told Scarvilius of the cave. I did not think she would remember. I did not think she would share it with Barabask or any other. She swore secrecy. But she was changed. I'm sorry.
I want to command you to take up into the air 100 feet above, and I would like to just scan around from 100 feet.
Roll me a perception check using the owl's stats. It has a +5 to perception.
Can you pass me the book, actually? I'll just quickly...
It's a +5 to perception. Cool. You can get...
that is a 24.
A 24. Okay, cool. Really cool. Who needs maps? You fly... You flies up high above them, 100 feet into the air. And are you looking, you're using your find
Yeah,
to
I
look
would say
through
that
its
in this moment you see eyes kind of not fully roll back, but they just And he just, he's sort of trance-like.
Selena Carlin, Batman Returns.
Walk. You walk.
Walk, I didn't want to do it too,
No, I mean you did. Don't
My
worry.
eyes go, my eyes go white, and they,
And you see, you're able to take in the full scale of Alvelion and how big it used to be. And you can see where the old forest has become young trees as it's grown and encroached closer to the boundaries of the city, and then the saplings and the vines and the moss that's overtaken the masonry as the masonry's fallen. And you see a great, what would once have been a great domed structure and a long, long raised walkway leading towards it, like a great raised parapet, a pathway. And you take in other buildings. And you see what looks to be a dilapidated marketplace, or could have been a market square. And you can detect some movement.
Okay.
I see something. There is life here now, in the old market's place. I cannot see what, but there is something.
What, members of the Gloam?
Can I make out anything?
No, not from this distance. You're 100 feet up and further away than that.
It is too far for I and you to see.
Does our path take us through the marketplace?
If you are aiming for the Virtuous Hall, it does not.
Do we want to find out what's there?
Do we want them to find the tunnel?
I think they may already knows.
They'll know nothing if you're dead.
Radian pulls out.
Sorry, I'm absolutely mad noise from the middle of me.
I apologize. What I'm about to do.
Oh.
Radian pulls out one of the whistles, one of the Gloam whistles, and blows it really loudly.
As soon as I see him do that, I am literally unsheathing a sword and dagger.
You're looking.
Are you
I'm
doing?
looking.
Yep. You blow into this whistle, and the sound of screams reverberates through the city.
Screams!
You blow you blow the whistle, and the sound of screams reverberate through the city, echoing off the remaining masonry, and it sounds like a cacophony of terror and fear. All the noises that you heard long ago on the battlements of Castle Grenweird.
I'm hiding. I'm not standing out here in the open.
Well, Radiant's made the decision for us.
Okay, you want to hide?
Does it?
I'll get there. I'll get there. Trust me. Roll me a stealth check.
It's 13.
13. You try to find masonry to hide behind, and you realise in that moment you don't know which direction you're meant to be hiding.
Bright pink.
And I, as you watch through Yu's eyes,
Well,
you're welcome. You welcome. No, sorry. You see figures starting to emerge from that marketplace and picking their way across the masonry towards the whistle and towards you. And that's where we'll end our session.
I was just about to say something.
Well, you'll have to save it for our next episode. Or better still, maybe you could save it for Action Surge, which is our post show, which you can tune into if you would like to in a week's time. Or if you're a member of our Patreon, you can watch it right now. You could head over to patreon.com/natural6 and you can get access to Action Surge. And if you wanted to become a member and you just can't wait to unpack it all with us, then feel free to head over there and see how a membership takes you. Thank you very much for joining us for this latest adventure in the world of Reliquiae. We will be back soon with more adventures in the world of Reliquiae. Bye, everybody! Bye.